away upstairs.
Thank you so much, Scoots. Thank you so much to the rest of the panel. And we are ready to start the first North American Major. Henry, it's a bit of an honor, but we do have an awesome game to start off with as well.
We do indeed, and it's quite interesting. It's Cash as well, the best NIP could have hoped for. I think in terms of the veto, we're getting straight into it as well. It's going to be NIP starting on the T side here. Actually, all 5 players committed to the A storage as well. They have got 1 smoke grenade. It's going to be a very fast execution coming in any second now.
It's Blade that's going to be way back toward the truck. So we get to see the revitalization of the T-sides from NIP early on. Remember, Threat has done a lot to change this team, and now he's got a first perspective of it because he's joined into the action. And with the dual smokes already out, Bondic's got decent position to watch Forklift, but it forces Blade to get a little bit closer to the action because he has to be there for the take. But as of right now, despite the bomb being in the site, they're going for a late play up middle, and this will pinch Bondic deep in enemy territory. Once that bomb goes down, Get Right and Forrest on the lurk could make this all work out very well for NIP. Great shot from Freiberg to start it off.
There it is. The first kill has come into the Major. Bondic coming in with the retake as well. It's going to be a 3-on-3 situation now, and we can see Bondic's actually made his way to the bomb side as well. Freiberg going very aggressive here. Goes down to the 2-on-2, and now Bondic has all to play for on the bomb side. It's a knife coming in, and somehow gets on top of him. And now Forrest all to play for here in the 2-on-1 situation.
And it works out. Bondic, no kit, but they've got the time. There was one on World Edit. They should be able to, even if they needed to, go grab that. But it's going to work out for Flipside. So the retake game on A, we see that commonly. And you would have thought the difference in play with NIP trying to go up middle might have canceled that out, but they just couldn't find the frags.
It was really interesting from NIP. They got full control of the bomb side there and actually went back for the boost towards middle. Went for that A split. It looked really promising as well, especially getting the opening frags in terms of Freiberg there. But Flipside coming in, like you said, a nice patient approach from them, going for the full retake, making sure everyone was ready to come into the bomb side there. And they come on top and a little knife kill onto the bomb side as well. That was kind of nuts, but what a round to kick off the Major here as we go into number 2 now. It's looking like NIP getting that bomb down. Won't be force buying this one, of course, waiting for the AK-47s in the third. We can see Flipside adjusting there by, they've got 3 UMPs, 2 rifles here, and it's looking like a heavy B play from the Ninjas here. All 5 players in towards that storage area. Have got flashbangs as well, waiting for any sort of initial aggression to be coming in. And then using the flashbangs and trying to get yet another plant down.
And it's Get Right and Exist. Closest to the entry point. Shara and Markolov to wait. UMP on either player, both decent armor penetration, but none bought up from NIP, so inconsequential. But Shara is going to try and start this off. Get Right still finds Markolov, but he gets one first. That's Threat to go down, so they get a little bit of information that there's 2 on the site. They go in one at a time, though, and Shara, he's able to turn this all around. Blake gets the last kill, but Shara staying alive and effective in that position.
Yeah, the main objective of that round was purely just to get the bomb down. They went for the heavy B play there, hoping they could find the initial kill with the Tech 9s they had. Didn't really work out that way. Like you said, Shara stepping up and denying the plant as well. So NIP do get guns this round, but it's not as strong as it could have been. An extra $800 going into this one would have been fantastic, but we can see the buy coming in now. They have got 5 rifles. One of them's Gil on Threat, and they've got 4 smoke grenades and flashbangs as well. The thing about NIP is now, as soon as Threat has come into the roster, Matt, he's actually made them a more well-oiled machine. They actually have the set pieces now, and they have tactics in their playbook they actually bring to the table. Whether they can do that with this current setup, with Threat coming in, I know the practice being an issue, is yet to be seen. So right now, spreading themselves out in more of a default position, 5 players covering all the key choke points of the map. We have got Shara going aggressive into B storage, trying to gain some info here. We'll see what kind of play coming in. So far, the Ninjas have left the bomb towards T-spawn, seeing if there's any picks available or to kick things off.
And Markolov going down did upgrade onto the rifle immediately, so we don't have that bonus round we often talk about with the SMG staying alive. He was forced to rebuy early, which is a good opportunity for NIP with this 3rd round buy, but it's Bondic again. We often talk about him being consistent and effective for, I guess, efficient for Flipside. We saw it in the pistol round. He started this off very well. With a minute still left on the clock, NIP have to pull a deficit.
Yeah, this is a perfect start from Flipside. Find that initial kill. Bondic gets it towards the A storage area as well. Forrest is dropped, and now to 5-on-4. They still have 2 smoke grenades remaining, but they haven't got any real estate of the map gathered whatsoever. Smoke's going towards mid, but Freiberg exists, not making any movements just yet. There's the wall of smokes. So Blade has lost his vision, but the man advantage they have right now, they're just going to funnel the terrorists into a bomb site and just hold strong there.
And it's passive play as well from Flipside, getting that first pick. No one challenging A main. They go back into the depths of the site, both Bondic and Blade, waiting for a crossfire position on entry. And NIP hoping to find a pick beforehand, but there's 30 seconds left to work with, and they haven't got much real estate. Get Right's going to cross over A main. There's no smoke on it, but that Molotov buys further opportunity for Flipside to just wait this out passively. The flashbang's inconsequential that followed afterward, but now Bondic goes for the peek. He gets Get Right. Freiberg needs to come out and answer this, go for the trade immediately. Thankfully, Threat finds him, and he's on the board. Exist has turned this around. Suddenly, despite the HP being heavily disadvantaged for NIP, they've got the man advantage, and a good lurk from Exist is going to find Shara.
The bomb will be planted just in time as well. No, it won't be. There it is. It goes down and Flipside win. 30 seconds remaining when they went to the bomb site. NIP losing those key frags. They salvaged a round, Exist finding 3, but it falls away from them. That's going to be very disappointing. It looked like they had control of the bomb site there. I don't think we saw it getting planted, whether it was in the open or not, but I thought they had more than enough time. I saw a threat on the site with the bomb as well, and they had about 5 seconds remaining, so definitely enough time to plant. Whether they actually did an open plan or went for the safe bet, I'll have to have a look back and see what happened, but there it is. NIP dropped the first gun round after losing that first frag, and we can see the 4 spy coming in now. Tech9's 1 AK onto Exist and going for that heavy B play once again. We have no orbs yet from Flipside, but the way they're going so far, don't really need to change things up too much. So the bomb will be going towards B storage, Get Right holding towards middle. That's a massive round after the way the round went for an IP to drop.
And that 4 spy to complement that AK that Exist managed to save in mid, but as you mentioned, speaking of that AWP, World Edit, we often call him out saying he's had to step up on this team. He has as of late. Yep. So when that AWP comes out, he's going to be the man to watch. Shara will go down. Get Right overwhelms. Good use of Molotovs to force him out from the checker room. Although it's a 1-for-1 trade, it's good for NIP considering the situation with economy, and now they could slow this down considerably.
Yeah, I don't mind this force fire at all from NIP. Obviously, it went down to a 1-on-1 in the last round and came down, took a lot of cash off the CTs. If they were to win this, it would absolutely wreck them. So they are bringing it down to a 4-on-4 now. Still have a minute to play with as well. They have got the smoke grenade. So here comes that mid play once again. The smokes come down, taking the vision away from Blade. And he actually finds one through the smoke as well. Freiburg's dropped. That's got to be frustrating for him. And that gives the man advantage back towards Flipside here. 4-on-3. And they, once again, NIP don't really have much to work with. Forrest is lurking out towards middle. And Forrest is the man with the rifle as well. So he's trying to find a pick, but very disciplined play from Flipside here. Falling back to the bomb sides, making that timer just tick down once again.
So still that rifle up, though. Forrest able to recover it. 2 smokes, 4 flashes. 4 opponents to try and find quickly. 1 will go through the window, the skylight. That's going to cover off Markelov, but he gets his vision back in time, and suddenly the rifles fall, and Get Right's picked up an M4. But without his partner on the AK, without Forrest still alive, there's not much he can do with it, and World Edit is going to put case in point to that takedown threat as well.
Yep, so far so good for Flipside. 4-0 for them. Finding that first pick once again. It's going into a very passive setup there and making NIP work for it. And with the little buy they had, couldn't really work on the picks. Forrest tried to do what he could through middle, but splitting towards B, lost that initial entry frag once again. And it's very clean for Flipside so far. Is this a pause coming in? So I assume this is technical. It's actually from Flipside.
Yeah, it's from Flipside's perspective. Just to note as well, we saw the bomb plant early on, which allowed the first gun round to be on round 3 rather than 4. But we haven't seen a bomb plant since, and where it's a 4-round loss bonus accumulated, unfortunately, without the plant, they're still in a position where they're a little bit strapped for cash on NIP's side. So it's likely, I would like to see, I mean, they could force Tech9s again, but I would like to see them stay away from the rifles in this round.
For sure. They want to make sure they get an AWP on Forest next round. They're going to go to their classic play going into the next one. They want to make sure they go for an execution. Obviously, we talk about Threat not really having the practice with the team so far. I'm very interested to see how he's going to fit into the roles here. If you don't have the practice, obviously he knows all the theory and knows what every role of the player is, but putting it into practice is a different thing. He's got to be calling now, playing, and trying to work out all the set pieces and the role the Pit brought to the team.
Well, the one thing that I will say, and then Flaren kind of touched on this, is they haven't put Pith in a position where he's a high-impact player as of yet.
Sure.
He's definitely had better games lately. I think at Katowice as well, he showed up in the group stages finally in a LAN environment, finally gave NIP something to be hopeful for. But at least it is a role. It's not like it's Get Right he's stepping in for. It's not like it's Forrest where he has to go to the AWP and have that high impact. There's still a chance, but you're right. It does put more pressure on him calling.
Just in terms of like his role within the team going into this one, he's been out of the game calling, looking at every single thing, and now he's going to just be on his screen. Obviously, he can still call. It's not a problem for him. I'm sure he's had experience in that role before, but still going into this one and having to fill the shoes of Pit, and like obviously you don't want to move too much around here, especially when you haven't practiced as well. He wants to just be kind of slotting into the team. But I still think they're a very strong contender in this group, but so far it's not looking too hot for them after losing that pistol. It's been very close rounds here, losing out on the timer in that first force by there. Got to be a little bit frustrating going into it, but still very early days. I think the pause has just finished as well, so getting back into it was a small technical issue for Flipside. But here we go. Have a look at the buy coming in for an IP. It's going to be PT50s and smoke grenades. This will be an A attack, Matt. This will be full wall of smokes onto the A bomb site. Try and get that plan once again and get the extra $800 and potentially could win the round if you can find the initial entry frags there, but it's very unlikely with the PT50s. We'll see what they can do here.
Thankfully, 2 rounds ago, it did, in that time situation, come to a one-on-one, which does mean that the economy's not been growing substantially for Flipside. So there's still a chance to get back into this game with 1 or 2 quick rounds in succession. Again, avoiding a reset would help that tremendously, but that won't come until potentially the next round unless these P250s can be explosive as they hoped. You said A was going to be the intention. The smokes did go out there, but it's all a distraction play right now because they're still setting up otherwise.
I think they're just trying to bleed out the CTs all they can here. Try and get rid of those initial grenades. They have got armor to go with the PT-50s, more of a quasi-buy here, but trying to get rid of the grenade potential. Going to be smoking towards highway. The flashpoints will come out, and here comes a play.
Bondic, seeing that door opening, puts the Molotov in front of it immediately. World Edit finds Get Right through smoke, but he found at least Blade beforehand. Threat gets the response. It's a 1-for-1, but it's World Edit that comes over late. Needs to be careful in the repeak. He goes down to 17 HP with that AK. Thankfully for NIP this time. A full bomb play. Good play from Freiberg up on top of the forklift. He spots one above it. He's going to get World Edit as well. Suddenly, the round is in NIP's hands. It's Shara, 23 HP versus Threat with even less. It's only 2, but it's a P250. It's viable, and he hears him. He hears him going toward this. He's got it perfectly done, and welcome to the NIP party, Threat. You've got your clutch.
That's kind of interesting for Flipside. He seemed so convinced that player was towards A main. Like, quad wasn't even a possibility for him. It was a very easy clutch for Threat to win in the end, and there it is. The A play comes in. They bait out the grenades at the start of the round with those fake smokes coming into it. The CTs take the bait and use everything they had at the start, and then NIP coming in as Get Right to open things up with a PT-50. If you do find that initial kill, all of a sudden the A side becomes a very difficult prospect to retake, and then Freiberg stepping up massively there. We saw him in the video. He wants to prove himself at this event, and that's a massive round for them to get back into this though. But like you said, Flipside money isn't fantastic now. After losing one round, they're back onto the Famases, one kit, and they distinct lack of grenades as well. So the heavy B play coming in from NIP. I'll be interested to see whether they go for a full set piece here or just going to be walking more contact style.
Oh, Shara dropping down off heaven, having seen the smoke. He does get the first one on Freiberg. No one in a great position to respond, but the Molotov's going to hold him. He wants back through it. It's 13 HP, and he goes through at the right time because they were pushing and pursuing. It gives Markelov a chance to try and cover him, but Forrest finds Shara far too quickly.
A very simple play coming from NIP here. They've got B control as well. Markelov is being backed up by World Edit, but still the lack of firepower is going to be a problem. Markelov is the first player to drop as well. Get Right finds him. Now World Edit, can he step up?
He's trying to dart around this. We saw the Molotov from Forrest on the vents. That buys more time that they don't need to watch the flank. They can put more effort to walking into the site, but World Edit dropping Threat also drops the bomb, and now Bondic has position to cover it off. Get Right gets caught. A minute to work with. They can slow this down in IP, but it's just Forrest remaining, and that gives away his position entirely, but it brings it back to the one-on-one. Bondic drops his smoke out, tries to fake it for the flash. Doesn't peek immediately after, and Bondic, knowing the situation, does consider the possibility that Forrest could rotate back over. However, with that bomb on the site, Forrest is instead just going to sit in position and wait for him to enter. He's going to use time in his advantage. Yeah,
this is where the mind games begin. He still has 30 seconds as well. Bondic has lost all the information he gathered now. He has no idea whether Forrest has made his way towards CT spawn, whether he's holding that B site. So far, it's the latter. He's just going to be holding on and seeing if the CT does face for information. It's Bondic going towards that vent area as well.
And this is the thing. Bondic's going to this vent area right now because he wanted to cut him off in middle, but he can't drop out of this vent area in case he got by because it lengthens his rotation. And interestingly, he is going to go for it because with 12 seconds, he's got to take the gamble, and now he'll know it's on to B. And Forrest won't get good post-plant positioning out of this, but he will get the headshot. Bondic immediately down.
That was very impressive from Forrest. Great awareness from him and a lovely shot to finish things off there. The thing from NIP as well, when they found those initial kills on the bomb site, they were very sloppy at getting onto the bomb site. You saw Get Right is jumping through and is hoping no one was towards upper. They had a minute remaining on the clock now. They could have slowed that right down, used that man advantage correctly, and made that a very simple round. But Forrest did step up in the 1v1 situation. Great play from him. Very patient, very controlled. Held strong on the site and landed a lovely shot. And it's a massive round to win as well. You can see Flipside now pretty much on a full eco. Just P250s and a USP on Markelov. So this would be a nightmare situation for NIP to lose this. You can see them adjusting accordingly as well. Mac 10s and an MP7. They can be the reconnaissance players going in first, looking for the stacks. And if you drop one of those guns back, it's not a huge deal against armor. They're not massively effective, especially if you keep things long range and allow their AKs to do the work. So more of a default player from NIP, just spreading themselves out across the map, seeing if there is any sort of aggression coming in from Flipside. But so far, all good.
It's a little bit different in Flipside's approach that they've got 2 in the B site, 1 in the vents. So a bit of a B bias.
Well, mid has been a heavy area of contention so far for NIP. They've been putting the smokes down, trying to gain that intel and taking it away from Blade, but you can see Bondic's there, ready to back him up if that does come in. They don't really have anything to work with, just some PT-50s. If they manage to get a couple of kills there or save an AK, that'd be amazing, but that's pretty much all they can hope for here. It's looking like another B play coming in from the Ninjas here. But there are maybe 3 players outside of the map. Get Right could get caught out here.
And while the smokes in mid indicates they might go toward the vents, but they haven't gone. They've gone all toward the B main position, and Shara and Bondic are shutting that down early. There's still 51 seconds, and yet NIP is still committing to these peaks as well, and there's a full rotation coming over. World Edit's just going to watch middle, but it's a bit more of a B bias again, and more of a stack inside of the site, and Forrest is going to put himself in the open. Watch behind, because where's the peak? Where's the refrag? It's Bondic to take one. Pops out and Exist will at least turn that around and get Blade. But 2 players left, and that is all. In this situation, that's a bit abysmal.
That was crazy. I'm surprised they even got away with that. They walked by that player by the box. I thought that was it. And it looks like World Ed's going to be the last one remaining. Exist does deal with him, but that was too close for an IP there. Like I said, had lots of time to play with. Didn't really have to lose that many frags going into it. There was lots of one-on-X situations. Get Right does find one, then got dropped, lost his weapon. And it got a bit scary there, but that's 3 in a row now for an IP. And we go into yet another gun round here. Flipside's money still not fantastic, Matt. They have got the 5 rifles, but we always talk about World Ed and his AWP. When he's on form, can be a world-class player with that rifle, can have so much impact going forward. So far, we get to see it. No kits. They have got the utility in the rifles, but still, things not stable in the Flipside camp. Going to round number 8 now. And it's looking like another B play coming in from an IP. All 5 players have heavily committed to this side of the map. We'll see what they can bring to the table here. Contact play once again. We'll just be walking in and trying to find that initial kill.
Good use of Molotovs last time they went for this play in toward Checker. They've got 5 again this time. No pinch play toward it, but Forrest opens it up on Markelov regardless. Well, that said, Forrest is going to take down World Edit. That starts it again as he gets the second entry kill. Blade's falling away from this. They're rotating off, and this is going to be a save. This has to be a save from Flipside.
Yeah, NIP is playing this perfectly. Forrest stepping up. He's having a great game so far. And 3 kills, finds him, locks them down in simple B plays. This is what we're going to see a lot from NIP. We talked about them being a very set-piece team orientated now since the threats joined them, but they can rely on these heavy fragging potential, especially when they can outclass these players pretty much across the board. And there it is walking into the B-bomb site, finding all the headshots. And sometimes that's all it requires, Matt. And Blade and Bondic just trying to save their rifles now. Have a look at the cash coming in for the next round. They will be at 4th stage loss bonus, so these weapons in hand, they could force buy if they wanted to. I'd prefer them just to try and use the rifles and get a couple of kills and wait to get the AWP out. They had a great start here, went up 4-0, but NIP have bounced back since that threat clutch. It's going to be 4-4 now. NIP coming to life here, especially Forrest, being very influential in some of these key rounds. One-on-one situation, and completely destroys Flipside in round number 8 there. So and that's one of the rifles dropped for Flipside as well. Just for Blade keeping his one. So we go to round number 9.
We'll see if that single rifle has any effect.
We'll have to see. Have to see what he can do. Maybe go towards that B site with it. Get a stack going there. It has been a favoured place for NIP, just walking into that bomb site time and time again. See what they bring to the table this round. They've got tons of cash now. 5 AKs, haven't even brought out the Forest AWP yet. A lot of people have been saying that threat may be AWPing. What are your thoughts on that?
I can't. Maybe. I mean, we saw him with Acer do it a little bit, but I think Forrest has to be the operator. He's been playing those positions. It's been Pitt that's playing more in the rifle role. That's kind of how they've gone back to that hybrid NIP early days style. I can't really see it working out that way, but I mean, maybe in a high economy situation, but not for the impact. I still have a feeling we're going to see Forrest on it more than threat.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree with that as well. So Blade has gone down to 50 HP. There's an A stack coming in there to Shara towards that toxic area, actually. That's a decent position, but you can see NIP slowing things right down. Bondek's got towards the locker area, so potentially could find this kill onto Freiburg. Everything's got a little bit sloppy, but it looks like he will be checking this efficiently.
Smartly so.
Oh, okay, maybe
or
not.
But good trade, good refrag at least from Forrest. Exist there to get Blade. At least Forrest sticks up for his school buddy who get beat up by the lockers. But it's going to be Markelov waiting inside of the site, not to peek. USB in hand for both he and World Edit, who wants to get closer to be more effective. Good tag on to Forrest. He goes down to 12 HP. Further that still, they take down Exist as well, but all the refrags coming back out. Get Right with a kill onto World Edit should do it. And Char's picked up an AK. That's too valuable at this point in time, so that'll do it for the round.
Well, next round, we will see World Edit with the AWP. You can almost guarantee that, Matt, I would say. So NIP have a pretty simple round there. Did lose 2. Got a little bit scary for them as they were getting the rotations, and Exist dropped to Shara, and that's where he's found his AK-47. But interesting to see what NIP brings to the table now. They know the economy has been stabilised for Flipside. They know the AWP's coming out. Maybe this is the time now to actually have the set pieces and actually take away that AWP potential. All the smokes, all the Molotovs, flush the CTs out. We'll see what they can do with this. But that's actually 5 in a row for NIP. We'll have a look at the scoreboard, see how Threat's getting on. Understandably, he is at the bottom, but he's still early days for him, warming up, getting back into it. It's a difficult ride when you haven't played for so long. There we go then. Round number 10. There's the AWP on World Edits. NIP do have the option to bring one out as well. Exist is yet to bite.
Dual op, in fact, because Markelov actually was the highest rated player for Flipside in the last major in Cluj. Stepped up when he was needed, but a lot of people have wanted this. They want the Markelov. I know we say it every cast, Henry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because secretly I really want it again.
What's this? Is NIP 100% to win?
That's pretty ridiculous. Did no one know that Twitter, that's like one person voted the poll wasn't public or something? It's like they were doing a production test. Does this poll work?
Well, we've got a pause coming in here. That is going to be 5 in a row for NIP. Maybe this is the tactical pause on Flipside. They've got the double AWP set up now. They want to make sure they get back into this now. Double AWP can be very effective on cash. It also can be very detrimental going into it. if you do get smoked out and you have to retake with the AWPs, that can be so difficult if it's an early bomb plant going into it. But it means you can have the aggressive AWP as well. You have the one stable turret that's normally towards middle B, and then you have someone that can be going towards squeaky door, going towards A main, taking the game towards the opposition. That's something I'm a big fan of on Cash. It's one of my favorite situations, going for those early picks, utilizing the spawns as well. And I think that's something Flipside probably will do. They want to try and get that man advantage like they were doing in those early rounds.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the double op too. I think it's extremely viable on this map. You can anchor either site, play a 3-man rotation middle. You can go to B quite quickly with that fast drop. I mean, there's so much you can do with it, and there's teams that'll even play 1 on A, 1 in mid, and then cover off both highway on a retake. You've got the A main pick. It depends. Again, I think you're dead right. The set pieces from NIP are going to render these ops useless, especially if they play 1 on A, because we know those smokes get so close to the AWP that you're effectively making it a no-scope op if you try and rush into the corner, or a very fast reacting op at the very worst.
I think Threat's going to be aware of this situation. Now the pause is coming in. He knows they're kind of taking their time out and working out how we get to approach the situation. They know World Edit always is an AWP, right? Famously.
It is technical, just to clarify.
It is.
So
well, that's that storyline out the window.
At least we've got, I figured I'd save you before you swam to the sharks there, but yeah, we've got the graphic up. It is technical timeout.
It wouldn't be an awful time to take a tactical pause, to be honest. It's maybe use it a little bit of both. And,
I mean, that's the thing. It is best of 1 for these first 2 maps, or for the initial group stage and the winners map, the decider match, and who goes through in first in the group. After that, we hit the best of 3s. But in a best of 1, you're right. Like it's one of those things you don't want to leave it too late. We see teams try and do that. Like, why didn't you use your timeout when you were really struggling? We see teams even go to like, they're up 14-7 and they go to 14-14 before they use it, and it's like, come on, you had to have seen the momentum shifting at some point. So it is early, it seems early, but you're right, I wouldn't have disagreed with it if it did come out.
We'll see what kind of play comes in. So far from NIP, right, it's been very simple so far. They've been going towards B splits.
Bondix apparently joined a gang.
Oh, the eyebrows?
According to those eyebrows.
Have you ever had that done?
Never.
No?
Actually, you know what? I might have. No, I didn't. No. Everyone on my hockey team did it one year, and I refused to do it. That's what happened.
Good boy.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
So like I was saying before we talked about eyebrows, NIP obviously been doing quite simple plays so far. We haven't seen anything too tactical in terms of the executions here. It's been quite simple plays. The most tactical we've seen is like some fake smokes going towards A and then going in with one simple one. But they have got a deep range of strategies now. Threat has revitalized them in that respect. Like Fifth Laren mentioned on this before, the problem with NIP in 2015 was it was just very outdated play. They're still relying on that meta of sticking together and having the contact sort of group, and that's what they've been doing so far, which actually, ironically, has been working really well for them. Is walking into that B bomb site, finding the initial kills, and Forrest, a player who's had a great 2016, especially in his online run they've had, about 18 to 8 games, and he's been influential in that. He's been looking absolutely fantastic, and he's continuing the form on here in the first game of the major.
Forrest was a guy for me that it was hard to not highlight anyone during the slump in NIP. They all had their moments of grief, but he's a guy that used to be a very solid pistol player, and on that alone, he was a huge impact.
Sure.
He hasn't had that same pistol effect lately, but you're right. He has come back in these big rounds. He's finding opening kills all the time. Even there, we see him get the immediate trade. That's something we talk about with Fnatic, how effective they are getting trades when they're trying to get map control.
Textbook Counter-Strike, right?
So Freiburg goes down at Lockers last round, and then Forrest is right there immediately. So I am curious to see when the op comes out how they choose to utilize him. If he still goes for the early picks, or if he sits back a little further and lets the rifles go.
I guess he doesn't really need to bring the AWP out just yet. So far they've won 5 rounds in a row, and he's working with the AKs, and he's clutching with the AKs as well, and he's finding opening kills. So why would you take him away from the role when he's on fire right now with the rifle? There's no need to bring it out. It might get interesting now. They've got the double AWP setup. Those picks aren't going to be so readily available, and if he does go for them, potentially going to be shut down by this double AWP setup, right? So maybe this round is where Flipside can get back into this one. I'd like to see them go a little bit more aggressive. Just go for that initial pick. They've got the advantage of having the AWPs here. So that's why I'm interested to see. Flipside need to start taking the game towards NIP a little bit.
I'm just thinking double up setup. We haven't really seen Flipside get aggressive because their economy hasn't stabilized in these gun rounds, but do you try and anchor with an op on A and flash someone into A main perhaps with a rifle?
I would prefer the AWP to go towards something like Squeaky Door or send the AWP to A main. I'd rather him try to go for the first pick there. The rifle can be very hit or miss. Like if you have got if you've got someone waiting for you, they're in a passive setup, you've got to hit that headshot with the M4. You've got to hit double dinks, right? So it's more beneficial, I'd say, to go for the AWP pick. You gain intel if there's no one there, and you still have the potential to get the one-shot kill and fall back at the same time. And then you have a rifle ready to spray them down to back you up if it does come to it. So I'd prefer that, if I'm honest. But we'll see what they can do. There's many different options on Cash, and I think we are getting back into this one now. The pause was slowing us down a little bit. We go into round number 10. The scoreline currently is 5-4 in favour of NIP after losing the first 4 rounds. So bouncing back very effectively here. And they are going to be going for 5 rifles indeed. 5 AKs. And we'll see how this double AWP setup works out for Flipside Tactics here. World Edit and Markelov. Like you said, everyone's been hoping he'd go back to the AWP, one of the most legendary 1.6 AWPers of all time. But so far, it has been more of a rifler in CSGO.
Yeah, he's been more of a in-the-shadows player in CSGO. A lot of people saying taking the leadership role, kind of bringing the experience to teams. Oh, Get Right was blinded up. He won't have spotted Blade in turn. I think he was spotted, so it's all out to slow him down. Nade detonates in the face. That takes him down to 42. That's not comfortable, but crucially still alive. Has to give up middle, though, and that gets Forest in a decent position toward the E-box.
This isn't a massive deal, though. With the double AWP setup, you can see Wild Edit towards quad of the AWP. As soon as they feel pressure from middle, he can go back towards looking at highway. That's not a problem at all, this setup. Giving up middle with the AWPs is absolutely fine. You can see him adjusting right now. Threat has got towards the inner squeaky door. It looks like this will be the fake play. And get right, what a lovely shot from him to take down Shara towards the vent. To get the man advantage. Blade's low HP as well. And now Threat has so many options here. He could go for the distraction play and pull some CTs away to the A site, while the rest of his teammates go towards B. It's looking like potentially more of an A play here. Bondik and Wild Edit still there.
I think they're reading that with one pick from Get Right. They're hoping the rotations are going the other way. The problem is they haven't got that information. And Get Right's going to get up middle. Blade's still in Z. And that could be timely. If he pops out as Get Right looks up highway, it could be a flank kill. But it's going to go the other way. Get Right's still waiting for it. Blade goes down. Bondik on forklift, and Threat's already toward World Edit again. That AWP up close doesn't stand a chance. And Freiburg finds Bondik. Double up setup not paying off at all for Flipside.
Yeah, just classic Get Right things there. Utilised the spawn he had, quick flashbang out, got towards that vent area, found the first kill on the shower. That has opened things up, and what a clean round it was. He finds 3 kills. Perfect lurk play from him. Just holding that middle area, waiting for anyone to be rotating out, and he just gets the kills, everything required. They find all 5. Double AWPs, not even finding a single kill. That's what I'm talking about, Matt. We've got the double AWP set up, especially when it's like the surprise tactic, like you're bringing it out for the first time. Take the game to them. Let's get the first pick. Let's try and do something. Let's gain some intel here. They left middle completely open. Like I said, that's fine. But as soon as Get Right finds that pick towards vents, that mid-passive play, that's not even viable anymore. You've given away the first frag when you're not supposed to be playing anyone there, right? So that was a huge problem for them. Shara getting dropped so early on really did throw a cat among the pigeons there. But 6 plays 4 now. Another eco coming in. That's going to be CZs and PT50s and 1 smoke. They're not going to be particularly stacking anywhere as well. It's more of a default play here. Lift middle open, and NIP just sitting back, winning what's available.
And this is the hard thing that we talk about as well when the economy's built against the CTs, even with the bonus that comes in after 5 rounds in a full effect. Without bombs on their side and things being a little bit more expensive, it's much harder to bring yourself back from this deficit.
Yep.
Add to that NIP were very effective in the last round. They've now built up a full round in hand, if not 2, depending on how the bombs play out for them. So this is a very substantial turnaround in this half, despite being down 4-0 early on. Exist is already boosted. Smokes off as well. They're trying to give up middle now and try and turtle and anchor the sites instead because they haven't had much success at trying to shut NIP down in that regard.
Absolutely. So now NIP is trying to gain real estate across the map. Exist has made it out towards middle as well. No contact just yet. So here we get that call to his teammates. Looks like a B split coming in. Get Right challenging towards Checker, and takes down Shara. And that's going to be a 5 and 4. Now I can hold back and see what the reaction comes in from the CTs.
And one already crossed over its Threat, jumps to get information, goes back for the repeat, needs to hit the shot instead, though it's going to be Blade that goes down to Forest. Despite getting traded, Exist is right there to take Markelov, and it leaves it 4 versus 2. Pistols might as well go for the rotation. They'll buy in the next one. World Edit's the first on the scene. Any damage they could do to the economy is going to be absolutely crucial for them. As Forest, though, isn't having any of it. World Edit falls immediately at Heaven. Bondik will just look for exits.
Yeah, not really much gathered this round from Flipside. Did find 1 kill towards Threat, but Bondik with the CZ in hand. He's just going to be lurking towards that spawn area and seeing what he can do. Actually makes his way towards upper. Can't find anything from this. No, Forest takes him down. Lovely shot from him to finish things off. Obviously, Flipside now a maximum loss bonus. You're getting $3,400 every single round coming in. They've got 2 of those in a row now, so do have the potential to get the double AWPs out once again, which they will. Didn't work out too well last time. Got completely shut down there, but I'm assuming they'll actually have more presence towards middle or maybe go for that aggressive stance. They could actually justify just playing 1 player towards B at the start of the round. It's been a contact and very simple play from NIP. I think that first kill would be potential and just leave him towards that area of the map and just have more presence towards middle A at that point. But let's see what NIP bring to the table this time. Looking like more of an A play coming in. And the AWPs now adjusting themselves. We have got that mid presence from World Edit. He's going to be towards highway for now and joined by Blade as well.
Let's get right. Aggressive through the smoke at mid regardless, though. Nades coming out against him. Exist is going to fall. Finally an opening pick for Flipside to work off of. But it's traded. It's canceled. Forced right there to get the turnaround. Markelov's forced back inside the dwellings of the B site with that AWP and nearly gets caught in transition. Will, in fact, go down as the Molotov flew through Skylight. Get Right was there to catch him on the return, and through the smoke, it's going to be Get Right again.
That's round over, I'm afraid. World Edit and Bondik remain. They've got an AWP and an M4, and you can see they've just got no real chance to do it. World Edit needs to go absolutely sick here to find a kill. He is waiting to see if anyone does overextend a little bit. The bomb does get planted safely as well, and there's just no way of winning this round. He can't do anything with this. World Edit waiting for Bondik to rotate. He's all the way in T-spawn. The best they can hope for is saving these weapons and going for some exits here. But once again, GetRight gets in that bomb site, finds two, and they kill through the smoke as well. Just insult to injury there. Just had a little spray towards headshot and took them down. Bondic does find Forest, but at this point the economy is swelling for NIP. You can see Forest currently on 12k, GetRight's on 10k, so money's not really a problem for them. This is just a nice little souvenir for Flipside, getting a couple of kills out of this and keeping the weapons. That's going to be good going forward, obviously, but still, NIP finding the kills very easily here in the opening stages of the round.
Thankfully, World Edit will save the AWP.
The thing is as well, they did find that open initial kill. Markelov went towards the B storage as we kind of speculated, found the first kill there, but it just fell apart. The trade kills came in straight away and unable to hold on to. You saw the Molotovs being used very effectively from NIP there, flushing out the AWP, just forced to go in towards the open there, got taken down to 2 HP. A simple kill for GetRight. Now open at the B site, and we go to round number 13 now. As we said, the money isn't really an issue now for Flipside after losing so many in a row. They did save 2 weapons last round, so can share the economy around. It's going to be World Edit back on the AWP. We'll have a look how he's doing so far. Hasn't had too much impact, I would say. He's on 8 for 8 right now. The AWP hasn't really done too much. We'll see what they can bring to this round number 13 in the closure stages of the first half here.
Forest, oh, did he spot him, Bondic? No, he just slipped by, undetected. So finally some mid-aggression from Bondic. Threat's just making sure no one's going to push out A right now. They're waiting for these aggressive plays from Flipside. Anticipating a change, but finally it is Shara to open it up. GetRight goes down inside the vents. Freiburg's going to try and Molotov him out, catch him on the transition, but it's the smoke to save him, and that works out brilliantly for Flipside because now they can maintain this one-man advantage. They haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, decent moves there from Shara, finding that first kill and using the smoke very effectively there to get himself out of that Molotov position. So now they do have the man advantage. This is the set piece though coming in from NIP. You can see them setting themselves up for the smokes. This won't be a fake. This will be a straight up A play, trying to get the bomb down and trying to lock out the AWP that's present as well for World Edit. Here it comes, flash into A storage, looking for that first kill.
Smoke plans. Top catwalk one in front of Blade as well. There's not much opening through it. Does have a slight vision toward Forklift, but no one from NIP heading that direction. Instead, though, it's World Edit who finds one from the truck through the smoke. As they try to get up over top of the red crate, there's going to be a little bit of damage done to Freiburg from the flames as he tries to put the bomb down, but it's World Edit again, who's now giving them a 2-man advantage on this retake. And Forrest gets one, but look at Freiburg lining them up. The retake's going to get shut down as Freiburg gets a quick flurry of frags. It's 3 and 1 to find on Bondic, but Bondic is able to hold true. Wow. 9 HP in the end, and finally Flipside get a response.
Absolutely, finally getting around on the board there. Came down to 8 HP as well. Freiburg coming to life there towards the end of that round. Find 3 kills, made things very uncomfortable indeed. The problem is for Flipside now, had they won that round cleanly, that would have been great going forward. They would have decent cash going into the next round, but they lost 4 guys after getting those initial kills. What had to work so hard for them as well. Execution coming in from NIP, works out, gets the bomb down, but unable to clutch things out. And Flipside need to be very careful. If they lose this round, they'll have absolutely nothing going into number 15. And NIP will be getting an AWP this time as well. Forrest, we haven't seen it from him so far. Getting the AWP himself and potentially trying to challenge World Edit. We saw him having presence towards middle that time and getting the kill over the smoke as Fret jumped onto the bomb site. Let's see where Forrest decides to go. I assume this will be a much slower stance from NIP this round.
Bondic, mind you, trying to get close to that mid position once more. Flash through it. And he gets found. Blade goes down and GetRight gets Bondic. It looked like he would be able to sit in that flash and survive, but GetRight reads it. Good response from Shara, takes the fight back to them rather than sits back and gets too complacent. However, once again, traded by Freiburg.
Yeah, that's a great reaction from Shara. Had to do something. When you lose those first 2 frags, someone needs to step up. Potentially could have got 2 out of it, but it wasn't quite enough. Only found the kill on towards GetRight, and now it's a 4-on-2 in such a key round for Flipside. Full reset. They are to lose this one, so World Edit and Markelov still alive. No kits, though. You can see NIP, so much time to play with still. Sort of a minute remaining, just holding up and seeing if anyone is going to hunt for information here. Both players from the CTs towards middle, just hoping they can find this next pick.
Markelov groups with World Edit. They'll both sit in middle. Pretty slow and passive from NIP.
Yeah. They don't really need to work too hard for this. They know this round will be an absolute nightmare for them to throw. Now the CT are trying to gain information. Markelov is pushed towards middle, and this could be good timing for him. Brett does spot him though, and manages to survive somehow. Actually doesn't need to face that whatsoever. Can just fall back and stick with his team. They know one player's towards middle at least. He can't get towards anything. But there we go. World Edit does find the counter Freiburg. No return.
And immediately they go toward B off that frag. It looked like they were relying on Freiburg to clear out the A side. As soon as he lost it, it's back over the other direction. Forrest, he's going to watch the vents. Coming that direction though, World Edit tries to fire through the smoke. That gives away his position. Markelov not yet found, but both covered off by the smoke. They're still around after this. And money's about to be reset, so
saving.
do they dare go? It doesn't look like they they care to. This is going to be a full save.
It's a very bitter pill to swallow at this stage of the game, but they're just looking towards a bigger picture map. They want to make sure they have something to work with in round number 15. They went for this retake, and they lost the round, which is looking pretty likely. Had one kit, 3 players to find out a bomb to defuse. They're going to go into the next round with just $1,400, right? So they needed to have the orb. It's a very difficult decision to make, but they have gone with it. Playing themselves towards CD spawn. Exits don't look like it's going to be too much of an issue here. Looks like NIP will be going towards the B storage area to get out of there, but another disappointing round. Get Right seems to be so strong at this smoke, flashbang out, this maneuvering through and finding this initial kills here. Flipside haven't had an answer for it so far. And that's going to be round number 9 going in favour of NIP. And the full reset comes in, of course, for the CT. So 3 players won't have much to work with whatsoever. Maybe some Famases and some upgraded pistols. It's going to come down to World Edit and Markelov. Can they step up here? Need this last round. It's been a pretty one-sided affair since those initial pistol rounds gathered for Flipside. It's going to be a UMP on towards Blade. Pyjamas on the 5-7. This is time we need some aggression now. We need to find that initial kill. We can't sit back and allow a full execution to come in once again. They need to be pushing. Someone needs to make something happen here.
And World Edit with the AWP this time is looking at middle. Freiburg behind the smoke, doesn't dare push through. In fact, going to spam the corner where we've seen Bondik try to play. Make sure there's no aggression. And an immediate change up. Not seeing any action toward middle means World Edit can go back over toward A instead. Bring Bondik back down, so it's a dual rotation toward mid from Highway. World Edit, this is it. This is finally getting a little bit cheeky.
We've got an auto sniper out on Get Right as well. You don't really see that too often on the T side, I have to say. And normally when teams buy that weapon, that's when they lose rounds.
It is true. We rarely see that suffice in these situations. I was saying World Edit's getting cheeky. They finally got him up on the position where he can watch from the corner in toward A main, and then they've got basically a bait and switch play with Bondik there. The thing they need to be careful of is if World Edit doesn't hit that first shot, there's no one watching Squeaky, which means if he falls away to go back in the site, Forrest is poised to try and come through the door and catch him out.
Yeah, if Forrest is to show towards Squeaky, it's an absolute nightmare for the CTs. It's a high-risk maneuver now. Bondik, he's going all in. Freiburg, he's going to be the first one he finds.
Oh, and they'll see him first. He gets the jump. Freiburg not anticipating his position to be there.
That's what we needed.
And World Edit can sit and watch. This is where I'd like to see Bondik fall back away, but he almost lines up too. He hits both, but Threat just catches the lag. The first one, though, Forrest, he was not so lucky. Get Right will find World Edit in the end, but Blade rotates over early, and it looked like things would finally stabilize for Flipside. However, Exist got up Highway. He'll cut off the first rotation, not to be on the second. Blade covers it off. It's a pistol and a UMP. It was the 2 disadvantaged players up against Get Right, who does still have the bomb. 11 seconds. He's going to commit to the plant and try and go in the open, but good push from Blade. Good timing from Blade, and it's not to be. It's going to go ahead and make it 9-6 at the end of the half.
Yeah, nice work from Blade there. He had to commit to the plant at that stage. Goes in with the UMP. Close range, of course, and that's where it's best suited, that weapon. Gets the kill. There it is. World Edit. Almost got the double kill there. That would have been absolutely nuts there, but it's Blade to pick up 3. And I like that completely from Flipside. Like I said, they need to be finding that first kill there. Markelov took the game into his hands. It was an aggressive play. It was a ballsy play, but he made it work. Got the kill onto Freiburg, and then World Edit is in a decent position. It was a very difficult move to actually find any kills from that, but the fact he had the surprise factor in his favor, almost got the double kill, did do damage through the first player, and they managed to clutch around. Get Right, one of the scariest players to go up against in a 2-on-1 situation, unable to capitalize there.
And just unfortunate timing in that he pretty much had to commit to the bomb plant.
Indeed.
With 11 seconds and them being so close, even if he fakes to face 1, the second's never going to give him that opportunity.
So there we go then. After winning the first 4, Flipside only actually managed to pick up 2 gun rounds. The last one was a very difficult buy for them as well, but a round I'd say they desperately needed. It's going to be 9-6 in the first half. I feel like that's enough for them. I feel they can work at this going into the T side. We know their T sides are very, very well drilled. We've seen it time and time again, especially the major qualifier. They look like a great T-sided team.
Flipside's always been a T-sided team, and that's one of the leaderships that Blade brings to them. He's always been a very tactical-sided mind. And Cash, I wouldn't say so much. It's more usually the Inferno, the Mirage, the Cobblestone that we see that kind of gameplay on. But again, this does give them a chance. If NIP can't get rolling early, they get the pistol, they get the 3 rounds that follow after, or the 2 rounds that follow after, 3 rounds, total 9-9. And it's a fair game at that point in time if they can control the economy.
The thing is as well, the Analyst desk mentioned it. Obviously, Threat, he's having a difficult time fragging right now. I think he finished on 5 kills after the first half, which isn't terrible, considering that they were winning rounds and stuff, but still, going into the CT half, but they said, if I can find out where he's playing, in my head, that's where I'm doing most of my executions, the weak leak in the team, someone who hasn't played to a top level recently, and he's going to struggle going into the second half. It'll be interesting to see where they decide to put him.
Yeah, it's easy when you get Freiburg and Get Right finding opening kills like that. Threat just has to kind of fade in the distance and plant the bomb in many cases, but you're right, now he has to hold an angle.
Traditionally, NIP setups, they have on the kind of B-bomb sites in Inferno, for example, they have Freiburg and Pit working together, and that's always been a bit of a questionable partnership. It's probably the 2 I guess the weakest players in the team, like in terms of raw fragging ability, going up and next to each other, and it's never been that convincing of a partnership for me. Now, if they're going to keep it with Freiburg and Threat, I'd say that gets even a little bit weaker. So whether the bomb site they're going to be holding, that's going to be, for me, that's where I'm aiming to send most of my executions, to see what NIP bring to the table here. I have no idea how they're going to adjust to this. Maybe they're just going to play their completely normal setups. They're going to bring something new to the table. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a full shuffle, and it's something that they've got to feel out very quick in this tournament, because it's something that not only this game will be an issue, but all tournament long. They've committed to playing with Threat, as they also said on the analyst desk. They had to make the decision if they would wait for Pith. This is what they choose. Threat this round, although it's Pistol, is going to be putting his attention on middle, as Get Right and Exist are the members in A. Some initial exchange. Get Right comes out worse for wear, but some flashbangs thrown out in toward A main. Keep in mind, Threat's the only one with a kit as well, so hence the reason he's trying to swing between the two sites.
Well, it's going to be an A-sided attack from Flipside here. Still do. Oh, okay, changing their mind out. I was saying the two smokes they had, that looks like a very traditional pistol round. Smoke towards highway, smoke towards quad, but they're going back towards middle. Fast boost coming in as well, pushing Threat back. It's going to be lots of ground covered, and Markelov in towards the squeaky door area as well. Threat's going to be falling back to CT spawn, and mid is open. They've lost that intel.
This now echoes what we saw from NIP's pistol, because they put two in the site. Difference is they didn't take the bomb in, Flipside, and they haven't gone for the full entry, but it is still going to be the split from highway, and Forrest shuts it down early. Needs to be wary Threat of the fact that Shara's come through, and what is that? Through the smoke, he finds Exist towards quad. The luck he will take. He's got a second. Finally, Get Right silences him, but damage is done, and Get Right has to go for the reload world, and it's able to capitalize it. Forrest shows up better late than never and does get him back down in the end. We talked about his pistol positions, but it's a 2 versus 2. Kit's been picked up by Freiburg, crucially, but they've got to try and get back in this site and make it effective. Freiburg's going to distract, hold it out, and try and get Forrest in a better position, but it doesn't matter with Freiburg hitting those shots.
That's sick from Freiburg. What a crisp way to finish the round. 2 headshots with USP. Forrest had already done his work. He'd already found 2 kills. So Freiburg stepping up there, and it's a big round for NIP. We think they're going to struggle slightly more on their CT side here, especially with the threat factor, but that was a very impressive way to finish things off. Flipside do get the bomb down, so they will be in a similar situation to what NIP were. Going to that third round, they will have the AK-47s. You do have the option to force by the second, and go. It can be very viable. Envious showed us in 2015 how strong that can be in the second round. The Tech 9, armor, a couple of smoke grenades, but I don't feel like that will be coming out today. It's going to be P250s and Glocks, so going for a very conservative buy here. Just want to make sure they have lots of firepower going to their number 3.
MP7 for threat.
Okay.
As well as the P90. Bondic tries to go up early. Nade. Look at the damage. World edit in Bondic. Hardly seeing anything other than a grenade go toward them, and they're extremely weak on this. Threat's got the position. He's going to get dinked up, though, as he goes for the peek toward upper. That brings Get Right back over to join in, and the nade will close out the 2 said players. That's one way to get things done, as Get Right looks for his 4th in the round. P90 just mowing them down at this point.
Yep. Simple procedure there for Get Right. Finds 4, double kill with the grenade as well. So he's going to be absolutely fine going into the next round. Can keep the P90. The only problem is I can see right now is Threat keeping the MP7. I think this is the bonus round. I think we're calling it right now.
The Jaden round?
No, that's not going to capture.
Come on, we have to name something after my dog.
Okay. Well,
she's a legend.
We'll call it the bonus round for now. Maybe the next event we can start bringing that in.
Okay.
But,
all right, that's fair. I'll give you that.
So the bonus round basically means you're taking a little bit of a risk here, trying to farm the money with the kept SMGs from the second round. It is a little bit of high risk. You could get the M4s out if you wanted to, but the idea is to swallow that bank account. You can do something a little bit more aggressive. You can flash in the SMGs to find that first kill. And we'll see what Flipside bring to the table here. It's going to be 11 plays 6. They have got 5 AKs. A small amount of utility. Have got 4 smokes. No Molotovs to play with. Can be very key on cash of flushing CTs out. But so far, just a default coming in from both teams. No one really committing to any sort of aggression.
Get Right.
Oh, hello. Here we go.
Is he going to go? That's the question. Flash, open, times it perfectly. Around the corner he goes.
I like this.
Markelov's waiting for this, though. That's the scary part about this.
He can flash again.
Doors open inward, but Get Right's going to play behind it. And Markelov may try and read that. Get Right goes to the face and gets out of there. That's actually a smarter play, but it might have been interesting to see if he could have used that door to his advantage.
I actually like the idea of that. If he could get another flashbang from a teammate at that stage, that could have been really cool. But going to be getting out of that situation now, make his way towards MBK. The bomb is in the hands of Blade right now. They still have their smoke grenades, so looking like they may be going towards an A-side attack, maybe working a pick towards middle, trying to take advantage of the fact they have the AKs here. We'll be boosting up. Get Right, desperate to make anything happen. They're going to be flashing to A main now. They want to try and find that first pick. Got some decent intel regardless, and they'll be rotating back towards middle and B.
So over the top they'll go. Try and work in tandem with those on the wings. Markelov lurking over at A, and Shara trying to get information onto B. But information they seek is not being easily granted to them.
Problem is now GetRight's alone on the A site, and that's where the terrorists are approaching now. He's just got the P90, gets taken down as well.
Threat's timing, though. Threat's timing is perfect. He catches at least World Edit. However, like you say, GetRight going down early doesn't work wonders to try and stop this bomb plant. Forrest at least gets Char on the offsite, so it gives them the advantage to try and go for this retake, but Bondic in a great position. And now it's 3 rifles left alive. They did trade out one SMG. Threat upgraded to the AK. Bondic's going to line him up as soon as he comes around the corner, though. Forrest is there, at least for the trade. They've still got time to work with. They've got a kit on either remaining player. Blade's extremely low out toward A main. But Exist, found by Markelov early, doesn't do the damage, but buys more time, gets that information, relays it to Blade, who's going to find him immediately when he goes into A main. And they just have to work together to find Forrest, who nearly gets around the corner and gets Markelov instead.
Forrest knew exactly where he was. I thought he had that dead to rights. Markelov somehow takes him down there, and I think he had a kid as well, so that round was very possible for Forrest there. They managed to find 4 kills, and it was just a lovely crossfire from Flipside there. Blade with such low HP, I don't know how he found the kill into Exist. It looked like they were checking it as well, but that's a huge one for him to take down. It's round number 19 now. NIP do have enough to scrape together a buy here. That's the benefit of the bonus round, I guess. You can have players that still have money going into this one.
The Jaden round.
And there's going to be 5 rifles, and one of them's going to be a FAMAS. No kits. They have got smoke grenades, and it's a big one. This one will be taking NIP to Eco if they were to lose it. So, Flipside now, an opportunity to get back in the driving seat in this game, and get some momentum in their favour. No orbs purchase whatsoever. 5 AKs for them as well. GetRight pushing aggressive once again through the smoke here. Does get taken down to 8 HP, and he gets down for the smoke. It's a very common move from a CTZ to push through that smoke and obviously boost up towards the box. And a lot of Ts will be wary of that as well. So you've got to be very confident to actually make that play happen. Now you can see the CTs trying to react and trying to get something back out of this.
And they're going to give up A entirely. So they take a risk on the second straight buy round that they have. Now this starts to hurt a little bit because they won't be fortunate in the next one with Economy. They've got to try and get this back, and Threat.
That's a silly move.
Well, they try and go Fnatic, I guess, if you will, to try and get things back immediately, but Forrest finds 2. Very well done. Nearly gets down Shara with the pre-fire toward the garage again. It leaves Freiburg in a 1 versus 3, but Threat, yeah, just walking in.
It
had potential, and it never was going to work with 2 players there, though.
Exactly. The thing is, obviously, you need to react. You need to be doing something there, but that's such a difficult angle to go in and face. You've got 3 little angles you need to be checking. You've only got a FAMAS as well. You're not getting flashed in. That's normally more viable. If your teammate can flash you in, then those moves make sense, right? But if you're just walking in, you have no intel there whatsoever, you're just hoping timing's in your favor, it's not going to work out too well. Fred does get taken down, and Freiburg's the last player to drop. So that's going to be the eco now for NIP going to round number 20. Let's have a look at their cash overall. They're sat around about 2.2k average. So let's see if a Flipside can get away with this one scot-free. Shouldn't be dropping any frags here at all, considering the buy NIP will be bringing in. You can see World Edit now. He will be that recon player with the Mac 10 going into the key situations first, looking for the stacks, and then it's not a big deal if he drops that weapon. So here we go, then. A real chance for Flipside to get something together here.
And you've got the SMG only onto World Edit, trying to build up his bank, potentially go for a T-side off in his hands. Should it be required?
Mid's are always a very promising area to go towards on these anti-eco rounds. Obviously, you can boost up very quickly, you can nade towards highway, you can clear out a lot of key areas with the Molotovs as well. It's very difficult for the CTs to do anything with that. So it's always a good suggestion at the beginning of the round to get that control, and then you can work out whether any stacks may be, you can get some intel, and you can see them playing very disciplined now. They have got control of mid, taking away from the CTs and holding up towards T-spawn and towards that squeaky door, seeing if anyone will face.
Bondic is already around the corner, looking toward highway as well. They did spot Threat going for the jump. The shot was fired into him. It put him down to 64. That discouraged him on the repeak. And unfortunately, it was so early in the round, there's not much you could have done with that information, but it's a 4-man rotation. Everyone coming back out from the B site. They'll find GetRight early, but now, if they can just do economic damage, this could work out. It's the SMG that goes forward first to get that information. Good nade and good follow-up on Markelov and Bondic. It looked like it was all Bondic, but Markelov gets one in there. And they'll close it, get back a little bit closer into NIP.
Indeed.
And there it is. World Edit immediately to the AWP.
Yep, absolutely. This is where NIP really need to dig deeper. We talked about their CTs potentially being very weak here with the missing player. And the buy's not fantastic either. You can see GetRight just on the CZ. And we have got 4 M4s as well. So no orbs just yet. So World Edit is going to have an absolute field day here with the picks. It's been GetRight. He's been consistently dropping here in the CT rounds. Pushing in or left on bomb sites by himself. He went for the A push last round. Got taken down straight away through that smoke. Interesting to see what he can do. Just a CZ in hand this time. It's going to be a very passive play towards A here. Actually, the CT's stacking middle here. Threat, Freiburg and Exist, all holding strong towards that area. Freiburg does get towards the vents. It's all down to GetRight once again, alone. Just a pistol in hand.
Let's see if he can work wonders with it. Threat this time. Not necessarily pushing into middle, but getting up close and personal. Freiburg gets one on Shara. Again, starting things off well for NIP. And this Molotov, oh, did that miss? It did. It landed, I think, just on the air conditioning vent that's above, and that's going to give Threat some position in that corner, so that now could be overlooked. A small detail that could make a massive difference. Pop flash, get right. Buys him more time. CZ75, that range is extremely viable, but it's not going to work out in his favor. It is still going to be Blade that goes down, and Freiburg overcommits on the wide peak. Threats come back around. He's managed at least one. Can he deny the bomb plant? That would be more impressive, and he does. And he's going to close it as well as Markelov immediately falls at quad.
Threat's been very quiet this game now by 3 massive kills as well and denies the bomb. What a huge play from Threat. And around they desperately needed as well. Horrible bar going into that one. And Get Right couldn't make anything happen to that aforementioned CZ, but it's Threat. The ringer coming in. The coach, who steps up massively there. 12 plays 9 now. Money's still relatively strong for Flipside. They're going to have 4 rifles here. And World Edit does have the AWP, so it was pretty interesting. Get Right still a little bit stifled here on the CT side. He's only got the UMP once again, but obviously we've seen it more and more coming into the current meta. It can be a very effective weapon. At close range, has great armor penetration, obviously. More of a default play coming in from Flipside now. Trying to work the picks, I guess. World Edit, got to be looking for any aggression through the smoke once again. But
Threat was not spotted there last round either, so he goes back, changes his angle slightly, knowing that Molotov failed to get a little bit lucky, but he's still going to have that pressure applied, and Exist is here to support this. So I like NIP, mid-pressure from both the T and CT side. Something that Flipside, I have to say, has been a little bit lackluster in.
We saw that first kill coming from towards the B storage from Freiburg. They've got this great chemistry towards that area. Forrest, Greater flashing him in. They work very well together in this scenario, so I'm sure they can continue that. Not going to have any presence this time. Looking like more of an A-pick mentality from the T so far. What is looking for that boost right now above the bomb site. Get Right, can't really justify facing just with the UMP. He wants him to come to the site. He's got the incendiary to slow them down. There's the jump. I think he did spot What as well, but What is hoping he gets gifted another opportunity to take that shot. Look at an execution coming in here. This will be the full wall of smokes. By the looks of things, could be a fade back towards mid. And the bomb will be heading towards that area as well. Bond looks the player to get boosted. Will they be committed to this?
Exist at fork. No Molotovs to distill him either, which actually means he's in a great position. Smokes are out on both he and Get Right. Flash as well. Double nade, one on the right, one on the left, so they'll do damage inevitably no matter which way Get Right chooses to hide. And it does take him down to 52, but Exist comes in. It's only one from that position. As Blade gets back in and Threat goes down to Bondic, fast rotation, but will they know Get Right is also here. He's tagged down to 6 HP in the end, and he can't switch guns fast enough, which gives Blade the kill. So now Forrest has to be calculated and careful in his positioning, even more so because he's lost. Freiburg does find Blade, though. No bomb plant yet. I take that back. Sorry, it did go down, but he can hold them out, can't get back into the site. They can just watch the angle, and Forrest can't enter.
Very interesting round there from Flipside. They went for the full committal in terms of all the smoke being thrown over there, but they waited till the smoke dissipated before they actually made their move onto the A side. They're trying to bleed out the CT, see what reaction there was, see if all the grenades would come in straight away, and they actually went for more of going in together, more contact play after the smokes went down. Simple flashbangs coming in, and they did find those initial kills. Get Right with the UMP, found one, but wanted that kill. He wanted to make something happen there, caught a little bit out of position in that sense, but that's a massive round for Flipside to win now. It's a full reset for NIP. You can see that being reflected in their buy. Desert Eagle on Freiburg. He has got body armor as well. The rest of the team not really committing as heavily as him. Just PT50s and a CZ on Get Right, and he's got aggressive towards that squeaky door area, trying to make something happen, but gets tagged down to 57 by Markelov and given away his position as well. Get Right's had a hard time on that A side so far.
He's definitely been overwhelmed in certain situations. They've still got a 2-round lead, but they need to start being a little bit cautious of the economy that's starting to build against them. Because that's only the first round in succession. It's the last 4 out of 5, but they've split the last 2, which means that they won't get a massive bonus. They are potentially facing that double eco territory because of it.
Once again, Flipside do go for that mid control. They're aware of the financial situation for the Swedish squad here, so pushing them back as far as they possibly can, and then looking for that first pick. See Markelov waiting for any more aggression from Get Right here. Not going to be found just yet. The bomb is down towards middle, so looks like a B split potentially coming in.
I thought Forrest might have just seen Blade.
He couldn't really do much about it, to be honest. Even if he did, he's not going to find that kill.
Flash into, they fall back. Good chance to spray through with that AK, but Freiburg now going to wait. One player has crossed over and Checker. They'll make their way into the site. Well, then it finds Freiburg. The Deagle can do nothing, and Threat's going to go for the fast rotation through the vent. Does dink up 1, but Markelov manages to take down 2 as Forrest was following in his footsteps a little bit too closely because he tripped and fell into the same grave by which his teammate was laid. And it's now going to be Get Right, just 1 on 5.
Indeed, CZ in hand. Can't really do much of this, and Flipside finding out another round here. It's going to be 5-3 now in the second half. Let's have a look at the money for the CTs. They're only going to get $1,900 going to the next one. This is actually a double eco situation for them. This is getting pretty scary now. There's a chance for Flipside to equalise things here. I'd say it's almost certainly going to 12-12. And it has been a difficult affair since the pistol for NIP and these gun rounds on the CT side. Struggling with the money, hasn't stabled whatsoever yet. They've been struggling every single time. Get right. I think he's yet to even have a rifle going into this one. He's had UMPs, CZs. It's been a very tough procedure for him. Left on that A-bomb site. And he's at a P90 as well, so he's had a horrible time. And they will almost certainly be eco here. They've got about $3,400 average across the team. So PT50s once more. A smoke grenade from Threat. They get 2 on Forest as well. He's trying to work out what they're going to do with this. Either they go for a stack towards A and just try and smoke out towards main as long as they can and delay them. Or they go for something a little bit more interesting and try and push through one of their own smokes towards B potentially with a flashbang. They've got 4 smokes here. So actually maybe just playing this as a default and just trying to run the clock down as much as they possibly can.
This is where the pressure gets applied. This is where 12-12 becomes a real possibility. They only killed 1 out of the 5 last round, so a cushion for Flipside to build on. They don't have much in their wallets as of yet. Nonetheless, they're going to go quickly again. Bondic already out middle. He's going to come up highway. They've found Exist in the site. Getright's going to be pinched off at Forklift, and regardless of what he tries to do, Bondic was there immediately to assassinate him, but at least Forrest did find 1. Unfortunately, it's just he now and Freiberg remaining.
Indeed, Freiberg and Forrest. Forrest has picked up the AK though, and he's at 7 HP. He'll be definitely trying to save that weapon as Bondic's on the hunt. Hungry for blood here, as he does take down Freiberg. Just Forrest remaining, does get punished though by Markelov, and that's going to be 12-12. NIP, as we kind of speculated before going into this half map, this is where they're going to struggle, and we'll see what they can bring to the table this round. I'd like to see the AWP come out. Forrest can be a very strong AWP in certain situations, and we'll have a look at the cash for them right now. They can afford an AWP, won't be the best buy, and there it is. Forrest will be picking it up. They have got utilities and a couple of kits as well, so this is a chance now to really rectify the mistakes that have been made in the second half. But Flipside looking incredibly strong now on the gun rounds. It's going to be well at back on the AWP himself. He's got a decent spawn as well. Could be going towards that A main pick. Boosted up straight away. It looked like the A main pick, and we'll see what NIP bring towards them this time as Forrest makes his way towards A.
Threat's going to fall away. I've seen him go aggressive in those situations before. It's basically slowed down entirely. Minute 24 to work with. No real utility left to work with in terms of smokes on NIP's side already, though. So Flipside have done well to bleed them out, as you say, Henry.
Yeah,
they try and work this in their favor.
They know the money's still not fantastic. Actually, all the smokes are now gone for the CT, so they need to make something happen here. Getright's actually been moved back towards middle. Forrest is turreting the A side from quad there, trying to find that first pick. Knows well that it likes to face that area. So far the T's, like I said, things very slowly indeed. We've got Shara towards the toxic area and Freiberg alone on B. Hasn't got that tag team duo with Forrest this round. It's a completely different setup. Bondic has been boosted up as well. Molotov towards events is trying to find that first pick. Not heavily committing just yet. They're going to find it as well. Getright caught out of position there. No backup or refrag coming in straight away. So it's a 5-on-4. And Flipside have a lot to work with here as well.
It's going to be a good response though from Exist. Shuts down Bondic immediately at the bottom of highway. Forces the rotation from the T's to go back toward B, though, because they still had vents as the option. That puts pressure on Freiberg, who does get the first. It's Shara down. No damage dealt in return either, so Freiberg's still in good position, and he gets played. He's lost Exist, though, to World Edit, who's made his way in the site, but he's left alone and to his own devices. Good response to Markelov, though his threat gets caught out. And now it is a one-on-one. An AWP for Forrest. And what potentially, depending on how soon Markelov decides to put the bomb down, is going to be a post-plant position. Although Markelov needs to be weary of his position as well. Goes for the peek at his shoulder. Hasn't shown just yet. His head will. Forrest nearly finds it. Now he goes to the M4 as he goes for the retake. And Markelov's limited. He can't move. He's going to smoke off one side to try and give himself some more space to breathe. And Forrest, aware of it, is going to fall back and try and play the angles. Use that extra time that now is on the bomb.
No kit, though.
That becomes a bit of a problem. There is one just in front. He'll pick that up now on the corpse. He's made a point of doing so, and he's going to find Markelov. That works out well for NIP in a must-win round.
And he picks up a kid as well. So there it is. Forrest coming in huge there. Wants to get in the one-on-one situation. So calm in those situations. Making sure he does everything he can to guarantee himself the victory there. Making Markelov question his position, and he has to go for the face in the end, and it's Forrest to take him down. So lovely stuff from him. 13 plays 12 now. It was actually Freiberg who's the hero of that round. Left by himself to anchor towards that B bomb site. Finds 2, and it's enough to delay them as well, just to get it down to the one-on-one situation. And Forrest prevails So money's still fine for Flipside here, and this would be another nightmare situation for NIP, Matt. Obviously, it goes down to a one-on-one. The money's still not great. If they were to lose this round, potentially could mean another double eco coming in. So need to win this one. It's a must-win for NIP in this one.
Smoke out default positioning. Forest try and use that disadvantage. Doesn't go towards Squeaky. I thought it looked like he initially would, but they haven't been getting aggressive NIP. A little more passive in this stead. He's got the AWP. Exists there to support. Threat in middle, so that answers that. We did kind of touch on that briefly at the start of the half, but he's kind of been playing that swing position, so it's not like they can try and expose a bomb site, as you were saying. It kind of takes that option away from it, as Forrest is just waiting and desperately hoping someone will walk into his crosshair.
It's definitely this time order that has been working towards A with the orb. This time he's towards B storage. Freiburg towards the checkers there as well. He'll be up in the vent, so it won't be overcommitting to this situation. But if he gets Molotov'd out, which Flipside have been doing, and Markov, yep, here we go. It's going to Molotov him out, and they're ready for him to drop out his area as well. It's a horrible situation for Freiburg. Did it miss?
I think it did miss entirely, because Freiburg was dead to rights. Like you say, the World Edit was in a position to try and catch him on the fall, and that's not going to happen. So Freiburg can sit there. This actually could mean, if they don't even know they missed it, because no one was peeking middle, could mean they don't even check it when Freiburg's sitting in here.
That's crazy.
Oh, thankfully they do. Bondic, good shot. That recovers it, but that's such a set play. You'd think that they'd have that one down, especially a guy like Blade, but it's now just get right on that B site. There is one player toward Checker, but oddly enough, it's A they want to go towards, and Exist is going to take the fight. Flashes in and gets two. World Edit responds, but get right finding Shara on the off site means it's all on to A, and Markelov, laid out of Squeaky Door, has a crossfire placed on him. The target on his back and threat with two.
This textbook Counter-Strike map, they lose the first frag. As this knows he needs to step up there. Flashbang comes in towards A main and finds two. It's enough to discombobulate the T's, and they're forced to come out of Squeaky there. Get right, finds that kill on the other side of the map as well. Really nice stuff from NIP. It's just really good Counter-Strike. Like I said, it's a round they had to win as well. Could have been a double eco and potentially the game as well if they were to lose it, but they managed to keep 3 players alive as well after losing that initial frag onto Freiburg. And Flipside as well, like you said, it's a little bit sloppy from them. You'd expect them to be nailing a very simple Molotov like that towards event. And it seemed like they did get the kill back in the end. Didn't matter too much, but still. It's NIP coming out on top in that situation. 14 plays 12 now. One more until map and indeed match point. Into round number 27.
And again, best of ones in the early portions of the group stage. So this would put NIP in a position in the winners bracket, I guess you could say, winners final, whatever you want to call it, for the group. Let's not call it done and dusted just yet, because it's still just 2 rounds the difference. Remember, the other 2 teams in the group play immediately after this. It's Mouse Sports and Luminosity. Again, standard formation. No one really pushing and getting aggressive for NIP, but they still find the first pick. It's Forrest once more. Blade's going to try and take advantage of the fact they'll rotate off of this and get in toward middle, but they need to find a pick before they can do much.
The hard work has been done now for NIP. Can just sit back. They know the money's not going to be fantastic with Flipside here, and it's another pick actually coming in for Flipside this time. Blade takes down Forrest, and that's the kill I was talking about. Didn't really need to commit to that situation whatsoever. He's the AWPer now and gives them a lifeline, as they have got mid control as well. Threat forced to go back towards the Z connector there. Not going to be committing whatsoever. We're falling back towards B. Freiburg has been strong in this position, but Blade is challenging him.
He's done all right damage initially. He's taken a little bit more in turn, but no one's there to trade is the problem. Blade's still going to find this, so 2 kills with the Galil. Threat finally comes to his team's rescue, but in doing so, he's indicated there's 1 more on the B site, and the other 3 remaining players of Flipside are going to walk in toward A. It's Exist with the opening, and it's Exist with the closing. He finds Markelov and World Edit. Threat gets Bondic in between.
Lovely stuff there from NIP. Once again, losing that first. Well, actually, Forrester gets the first pick, and as I was saying, they didn't really need to overcommit to that situation whatsoever, right? But he gets taken down, gets a little bit scary at times, but they're stepping up and winning these duels, having decent crossfires, especially on the A side now. Seems like they've worked out the setup there, and Exist boosted up onto Catwalk. Does find the kills and the distraction as well for the terrorist side. So 1 round required. The pressure has been released now. It's going to be pistols and a Galil on towards Blade. Very difficult round. And NIP know they're in a great position here to take this first game of the major.
28 kills for Forrest. Bondic, not much worse off, is on 27 for Flipside. So again, reliable as ever. Markelov, who's been quiet, and not to rag on him because it's expected in his first game. Threat.
He's actually
he's had impact.
The kills he's been getting, he might not have a lot of them, but they've been very important rounds. He's stepping up, finding multiple kills in big situations, so can't take anything away from him in that respect. Very impressive in terms of not being playing for like 6 months or so and actually coming back and having a decent performance here in key rounds. It's all good so far.
And that's the one good thing about him coming in as the coach, is he has an idea, the fundamental idea of what they need to do. He knows where the needs need to be, and he can just fill into the holes accordingly. It's not quite that simple. Sure, he's got to go in and practice it a little bit, but Apparently they did put about 3 hours in, knowing that the situation may have occurred, or may occur with the visa problems. They did put about 3 hours into set nades with him, so.
Well, they haven't actually relied on them too much. I mean, a lot of contact play here, but regardless, we are going into potentially the last round here. It's a very difficult buy for Flipside. I've only got pistols and a few smoke grenades to play with. Haven't gained anything so far. They are going to be making their way towards middle. Threat now doesn't need to overcommit to this. Will be flashed off. Can he make anything of it?
Oh, Threat nearly gets one back despite getting caught with a nade out. It almost works in his favor. Bit of a blunder there from World Edit, but it's the opening pick now for the Tech-9s. A rifle picked up to complement that of Blades Galil, and Forrest already forced off of the B site with a smoke. He's going to try and spray through, but it means a bomb plant is extremely likely right now for Flipside. And it puts pressure onto NIP, who lay a Molotov at the precipice of the site, but unfortunately not beyond that, where Blade was planting down the bomb. And Shara's going to fade away.
It's not a problem for NIP to save this round. They think, let's just finish this effectively. If we commit to this, and it's a full retake. Bombs ticking away. They haven't really done much of it yet.
Good little tag through this garage, but Get Right finds World Edit. It didn't fully go the damage and the distance for the damage, excuse me, on that checker position. So Get Right's not going to look at it. That's the problem as he goes down. Markelov gets that kill, and it's all on exist. Well done from Flipside. And the opening pick pays dividends this time as they get in toward B.
This is exactly what I was talking about. I would have potentially called, okay, we've got 5 players to find here, guys. The bomb's down. We haven't got anyone in position. We're not pinching the site. We're all coming from the same areas here. Probably want to save the weapons and just finish this off with rifles. Now, this gets a little bit interesting. We'll have a look at their cash coming in. 2K and with a hard reset as well. That's going to mean, what, they're going to have $3,800, maybe $3,900 on a lot of players next round. So this has given Flipside a lifeline at least. We could be looking potentially at overtime. They're not going to be buying anything this round whatsoever. This USPs and the PT1000 on Get Right. This is almost a throwaway round, Matt. I didn't expect Flipside to find that first kill, but it was Threat who overcommitted towards middle. Went for the initial face there, but decided to stick around trying to find the first few kills. Gets completely flashed out of position and gives them the entrance to the map. So all of the same here now. The Flipside do get that mid control once again, and they're going to be going towards B. Simple kills here as Freiburg and Forrest get dropped, and the B site is fully open now.
And this starts to chisel away. It becomes elusive for NIP. Thankfully, have secured overtime point already, but job not done. We're going to go the distance as NIP looks to try and save this AK that Get Right has. Exist is there to try and get more information if they do walk through Squeaky, but it's Bondic to check this angle, and he's aware that Get Right might be here. He's going to find that kill, and now it's up to Exist to try and just get back to that rifle, which, given his HP and Bondic's aggressive stance, it's not going to happen. And there we go, round 30, and overtime looms because NIP now isn't exactly in the best position money-wise. They do have 51.50 on Exist, but 39.50 only on Freiburg. Threat at 3,500.
This is exactly why I said they should consider saving that round. It wasn't worth it. They tried to close it out too early. I really would have suggested let's make sure we have a decent buy if we are going to make it to the latter stages of this game. But here we go then, the final round. We've gone the full distance here. And going into it, and there's a timeout coming in with the CTs, and why not? They haven't used it yet. Threat, you can see on your screen right now, just working out how they're going to approach the situation. The money isn't great, like you said. It's around like 4.4k, I think, average. So they do have enough to get the rifles out. They could get a glass cannon, but they really wanted to. I feel like they can just make sure they get the utility, get a couple of Pyjamas out there, make sure they have the grenades. But yeah, this is an interesting finish to this first game of the major here. We knew it was going to be a closer game. Obviously, NIP, with their full squad, would have been heavily favoured going into this one, but it's balanced out very effectively. You can see Flipside need one more, and they're going to take this time as well to work out how they're going to approach the situation.
I'm just looking, because you say glass cannon. It's
Yes.
Exist that would have to buy the AWP, but in this situation, and I'm just checking the money, is it almost worth it to let Forrest buy the armor and drop him the AWP?
Well, that means that Exist won't have a weapon, right? He'll be on a pistol.
He could force out a FAMAS for him. That's the difference. But it's a glass cannon FAMAS then, which isn't really a glass cannon. It's a glass PP shooter. What do we call that, Henry?
We're not making up more names on the spot here.
It's the Jaden buy. We've got the Jaden round, then we have the Jaden buy. It's the glass cannon FAMAS.
Okay. Well, we can come up with those after the game, maybe.
Don't take this away from me, Henry.
But yeah, we can see the buy now coming in for Flipside. They obviously going to have the 4 AKs. I think World Edit has got an AWP. I'm going to go check and spawn and see what that has been dropped. Actually, there's an AK on the floor. Oh, is there or not?
No, there's an M4 dropped over. I don't see it yet either.
Okay, maybe they haven't going to be going with the 5 rifles. Obviously, they get the time as well in this tactical time. They can think, well, we can throw a little bit of a spanner in the works here. We could go for a full-on rush. We could do something a lot more simple. We've been playing very slow Counter-Strike so far, more defaults and then executions and some fakes, and we're going for a lot of heavy mid-control here. So for me, if I was NLP, I'd be calling, well, mid's been a massive issue for us. We're only playing 1 player there. Most rounds, we have tried it with 3 a couple of times. maybe this is time for Flipside to say, you know what, we're just going to rush B. They're going to try and adapt to what we're doing right now. Let's do something much quicker. Let's try and get in there and apply the pressure as fast as we can. There's obviously a different setup will be coming from NIP. They're going to be stretched thin in this last round. So mind games coming into full effect right now, in my opinion.
I'm trying to hold in a sneeze.
How's it working?
I'm looking into the light. I'm good now.
Okay.
Because I'm allergic to your...
Clutched
yeah,
it.
you know how that works. It was good. I mean, this is the thing we talked about. We are back underway now, as a matter of fact. So if we could cut back to the game, that'd be lovely. But it is the situation where we said that late timeout, best of one, Flipside definitely in the upper hand. But they do go for the double FAMAS glass cannon. Oh, they did drop it. So there you go. They did do exactly that. They dropped it over to Forrest. He's got the armor, and he in turn threw back at FAMAS, which Threat grabbed. And Exist gets a rifle. So they did a bit of shuffling, gun shuffling, about a three-way shuffle to make this buy work out.
Yeah, Forrest has been known to get these first picks. This time he'll be back towards middle, so this is the adjustment.
And Exist in this position. We haven't seen this boost in the corner yet. And without armor, that's actually a decent position to be in because you're supposed to get the surprise, you get the drop on the shots, you can get one, potentially take no damage in turn. So this is actually quite smart from NIP in this position.
Yeah, it's a good adjustment, I would say. See what they can bring to the table. No fast play coming in from Flipside just yet. They are going to be committing 4 players towards the A site. And here's the smoke. They didn't commit to this last time. They waited to see what the CTs did to reply. The flashbang going in, and this could be the play now from the terrorist. Bondic has got control of middle once again, but Forrest is going to be waiting for him.
Threat's going to get forced out of middle. Once more, simple Molotov to do so. Bondic and Blade will take those positions, and Blade's already inside the vents as well. Now that's blown out. Freiberg will have heard that. Although he was flashed up, so I'll be interested to see with that ringing of his ears if he did or not, because he hasn't considered the second possibility from that checker room just yet. And Bondic in a perfect position is going to find Get Right rotating. It's now the man advantage for them early on, make it doubly so as Blade does walk out and Freiberg has no response.
Very difficult situation now. We can see Blade has got full control of the CT spawn area. Threat drops, and that's the round tied up. It's almost certain we're going to overtime here. Forrest and Exist is stuck on the other side of the map. Exist really wants this boost to work out for him, but the bomb will be planted at B here. And a very simple procedure there. Great control from Flipside there. Bondic getting the mid positioning, and then Get Right just runs to his certain death there as he went for the rotation. Actually a very impressive round from Flipside. Another fake coming in. We talk about their T-sides being well-oiled and having lots of different depths to their strategy book there. So the fake coming in works out perfectly, keeps 2 CTs towards A, even though it's a full B attack coming in. Very confusing for the CTs now, and that's the round over, I would say. Ooh. Some souvenir kills coming in for Forrest potentially, but they're not going to be able to win this round.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will go to overtime from NIP's perspective because this puts pressure on the fact that they are, again, playing with the coach. It would have been nice to get away from this game, get that one done and dusted, go back to the hotel tonight and reset, make sure they go over all the issues that they had, the little cracks in the armor that Threat does potentially wear, but it's not going to be done so easily, as Flipside have done an excellent job to pull this back.
Absolutely there. Well, it all came down to that round when it was pretty much a 4-spy from Flipside with Tech-9s and a Deagle. And the 5-on-4, the bomb planted. NIP could have just kept the gun and had a very strong buy going to the next round and not had to go for that full eco, but it's going to be Flipside bouncing back and take a lot of mental fortitude to come up with the plays there. We told them to take the time out for the NLP, but just a really nice round there. Textbook CS from Flipside. Take all the attention towards the A bomb site, have one person lurking towards middle, then go towards B. You've got everything set up for any rotations. It just works out perfectly for them.
And it was, I kind of touched on it, that NIP was putting a lot of mid pressure on the CT side,
yep.
And there wasn't much T side pressure from Flipside. But late in the half, it was well read because NIP started to get away from that. We saw Threat rotating much earlier, had that great round where he showed up into A to close it out with 2 kills.
Sure.
And then once they realized, okay, wait, mid doesn't have as much defensive prowess anymore. Let's go back and try and take care of it. So Flipside read that extremely well.
The thing is as well, Forrest has been fantastic in that first half and then beginning stages of the CT as well. But as soon as he got the AWP out, that's when he seemed to drop off a little bit, I have to say. Like was getting a couple of opening kills here and there, but wasn't really lighting the world on fire with multiple frags or having clutches with those. It was when he had the rifle in his hands, that's when he was doing most of the work there. As soon as the AWP came out, that's when they looked a little bit rocked. They weren't really controlling middle at all. He was going towards B, then sometimes going towards A. Threat left alone in that mid area. That's when they had serious problems there. He was unable to find multiple kills there. He's normally getting taken down without anything whatsoever. So they were adjusting their setup. It was just every time they did, Flipside were doing something different.
And we did see Threat get complemented by Exist in a few particular rounds as well, and even that was still a struggle. Every time you start a sentence, by the way, with the thing is, I expect you to put on the Thorn beard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can do that if you want.
Yeah, please do.
We still have it kicking around.
I'm sure you do.
In the green room.
I'm sure Richard Lewis has it like on his wall at home. Fantasizes about Thorin when he's not with him. You know, that duo, the dynamic duo.
Well, that aside, We are getting into the overtime now, so we'll have a look at the buy coming in. Forest will indeed be on the AWP this time. Decent spawn from him as well. This is the chance I'm saying, you know what, guys, I'm taking the game to them. I'm going to go for the initial face here. I'm going to try and do something with it. Looks like we'll be going for more of a conservative approach here. We'll be smoking towards middle. I think it's way towards highway, though. Still has the option to do something with this. He goes towards the A-bomb site. World Edit is going to be boosted up towards middle. Looking for that initial frag here. You can see there is heavy presence this time from the CT. He's not just leaving Threat by himself. It's going to be the 3 players towards mid. Freiburg, of course, in the vents. We'll be backing up Get Right. Forest alone is the turret on the A-bomb side.
So MR3 10K, as per Valve's standards for the majors. I only specify that because some tournaments have elected to go MR5 in the recent past, but keep in mind as well, in the MR3 format with 10K, buying AWPs, if you lose 2 in a row and you're heavy on the buys, you can potentially be in a save third round. Especially with the double orb setups, which a lot of teams will bring to the table in overtime. But here we go then, Exist going for the boost now. And we haven't seen this boost yet. This is the first time they've gone this aggressive. The nade will indicate they're going for this. Bondik still finds the shot though. Exist, you would have bet your house on it, surely, that he would have got the jump on that, but Bondik's there. He's aware of it, good push in. This time by Threat through the smoke, flashes back to make sure no one at drop will catch him. So smart by Threat to make sure he's safe and takes the damage right back to them, but look what it's done, because with Vents controlled, they've got 2 players waiting in B for them to drop out of that. And what can Get Right do in this position? 3 players, including the bomb as well. Bondik holding for the rotations there towards middle, and it's another boost coming in potentially from the CTs. Get Right needs to hold on here. This boost will be late because they're already in the B site, but it does give them good position in B main to try and flank it out, but Bondik again is going to spoil it. He finds Freiburg. And this first round is Flipside written all over it. Important for Forest, again, for the same reasons we mentioned, to save this AWP. Bondik, it seems to be in the perfect place every single time. Another CT boost coming in, and regardless of how they approached it, he was just ready for them. He gets 2 kills this round. And Threat, after they lost the initial pick as well, like you said, it was a clever play from him to actually go in and find that kill towards middle. He did it, but unfortunately now Forest does drop the AWP in the end. So money's still not an issue going to this one, but if they were to lose this round, the last one of the half becomes very difficult procedure for them. Flipside taking that pretty easily, I would say, towards middle once again. Round number 2 now. No AWP this time for Forest, which I like. Like I said, it seems like he kind of has dropped off a little bit since he has been AWPing. I prefer him with the rifle in his hand. That's when he was going absolutely sick in the first half, clutching all over the place and multiple kills coming his way. Going to round number 2 now. Of course, World Edit with that AWP has a decent spawn towards B as well. Could go for this initial phase straight up. You know, wonder as well if they're going to try and bring out unorthodox plays. The boost we saw twice there from NIP. If they try and go for the skylight boost in that one, they are ready for this though. And this is something that World Edit has been prone to do. When the flash, or a smoke rather, comes out from that B main position, World Edit will often sit with the AWP and watch that skylight. So probably wise they didn't go for it at NIP. That's actually, if you go back to the qualifier, something they did at Tempo Storm to shut them down. Default play now coming in from Flipside. Just seeing if they can do anything with this AWP. Did scout towards B at the start, but now coming towards middle. The smokes have dissipated for the CTs. They've only got 1 incendiary remaining as well, so with a minute remaining, they need to make something happen here. If they were to get fully executed onto, it'll be a very difficult hold for them. Exist makes his way towards A main. This is something, but it's not a great position so far. If someone was to face, he's going to get punished for that. Well, at it again, out middle. So once more, Flipside have map control to work with. Forest and Freiburg inside B together. Looks like they will take that bomb blade through the vents. He's committed. He's dropped out, so it will be a B play. Bondik spots 1. That's Get Right. At least sees him in turn and doesn't go down. Keeps him alive and relevant for the retake. But first and foremost, they've got to get that bomb planted if it is going to be a retake. And that means confronting the 2 players inside of B who set a crossfire and find 2 for the price of 1 in change. It's going to be Forest to get Markelov, add to the total. And World Edit in a very awkward and dire position. And the checker room does fall to Forest as well. There it is. As soon as he gets the M4 back out, Matt, he gets 4 kills. This is what they need to be doing. The AWP hasn't been working out for them, but that M4 crossfire setup they had, Freiburg just doing a little bit of damage there for Forest as he cleans up with 4 kills. They even knew he was on the bomb side there as well. It doesn't matter for Forest. He steps up and gives NIP the round single-handedly there. So AWP comes out back again for NIP, but it's looking like Get Right looking to use it. I'll have a look at his spawn, see if he's got something in mind. It's not even a fantastic spawn. He just fancies warding it himself by the looks of things. As we go into the final round here, the first set of overtime. It's got planned. We'll be flashing towards A main. So Forest and Bondik again continuing to be the impact players. We've seen it in both rounds so far of overtime. Remember, 1 for 1 means full buy. Last round of the first half. And Get Right on the AWP this time, so maybe they've recognized the same thing you did, Henry. Let's leave Forrest on the AWP, or rather, excuse me, on the rifle.
Yes.
And get the AWP into different hands for whatever it's worth. Oh, World Edit, good spot. Finds Exist lurking, but there it is. Get Right, immediate response.
4-on-4 now, but Flipside still have plenty of time to work with. Don't have to commit just yet. The bomb is still towards middle as well, so couldn't really go in with that pick alone. But the 4-on-4 does favor the terrorists in this sort of scenario. You can see Threat now alone on the A site. He has struggled in these 1-on-X situations. Get Right with the AWP back towards middle, see if we can find that next pick.
It's Threat this time. That'll play anchor in A because Get Right's gone back toward mid, as you mentioned, with that AWP. Shara getting away from the B site does start to indicate this could be an A play. Markolov's already gone towards Squeaky as well. Smoke out in front of Threat. Mark's going to go ahead and Molotov off toward the forklift. It'll be to no avail because no one playing in that position just yet. But is this another fake? Because Bondic and Shara have middle. They're either buying time to let Bondic get in a better position, which appears to be the case, or if Shara had found an opening toward vents, perhaps gone back to B, but it is going to be the split. Get Right's waiting, but he's not sure which direction to look first. Doors open. Threat needs to confront that because Get Right needs to turn back and find Bondic, which he does do quite successfully. Another up-close shot, and perhaps this is the right call, giving Get Right the AWP.
It seems that way, Matt. Close range or potential from Get Right there. Finds 3. Great work from him and the A-side attack. And like we said, Flipside did have the advantage that 4-on-4. They went for the full execute, but Get Right is standing strong there. Freiburg chiming in as well. And it's going to be 2-1 in favor of NIP here as we go into the second half of overtime here. The CT side has been a problem for NIP. For them to actually win that half is very impressive indeed. It looked like Flipside had full control in the first round, but the adjustments coming in from NIP, as soon as Forrest gets back on that rifle, that's when things started to look promising once again. So I'm sure they'll probably continue that trend. Stick with 5 AKs on the terror side, I would say. It's not worth taking him out of the equation in terms of the close-range battles.
So well done for NIP to hold for 2 on the CT side. Remember, both the regulation halves were in favor of the terrorists.
Yes.
9-6 as well, so it was effectively a 2-1 scoreline, 2/3 of the rounds going one direction, which does bode well, you have to say. And we do know that Forrest was big, Freiburg was big at opening up sites. Get Right's been big. It's the other two that can just sit back and try and support them.
It's the clutches as well. It seems time and time again in those one-on-one situations, Forrest is stepping up massively, and that's so important, especially when you've got a team on the back foot and you're potentially a little bit weaker going into this tournament. You want to make sure you're closing those kind of rounds out, and if you can rely on someone like Forrest, I think from memory, he's won every single one-on-one situation he's been in so far. I think there's been like 2 or 3. And
yeah, I think you're right, because Get Right was the only one that went down because he was forced to plant the bomb.
Exactly.
Yep.
So he's been absolutely stellar in terms of actually finding them rounds here. So, like you said, going into the T half, this is where they have been stronger as well. So this is looking very good indeed for NIP going into the second half of overtime here. Flipside did a great job in regulation time, getting themselves back into it, just grinding the economy down at the CTs, but everything's reset now. They need to find 2 here just to stay alive in the first game of the major.
And that's the crucial part of this. Stay alive in the first game of the major, because it's Mouse Sports or Luminosity that they'll play, whether in the upper or the lower bracket, and both those teams have massive potential. We've seen improvements from Mouse Sports as of late. And Flipside, as Duncan said, has been the team in this group that has had the least amount of impact in previous majors. So it was almost a gift that NIP get to play them early, but this much struggle indicates that things only need to be improved, and they've got to get through this one to do so.
And we are getting into the second half now. It's going to be that double AWP setup we saw in regulation from Flipside. Didn't work out initially, but did pay dividends towards the end. And NIP, like we said, very simple plays on their T side here. Looking like more of the same as that contact play towards B. Initial smoke to take away the vision from the AWP. And Markolov is going to spot that, but no player spotted just yet. There's a huge gap, though. He could actually capitalize on this. We'll see how NIP decide to go, and he's going to find the first kill. I was about to say, as he gets flashed off, has to fall back now. So NIP dodging death.
Markolov looked like he was considering running toward Checker for cover, but the Molotov comes out. He still manages to hit Threat in the open despite having a terribly off angle. And a Molotov behind him, and he had nowhere to cover, but Get Right finds him instead. It's Shara, re-entrance, and Freiburg thankfully turns back to find him, because that could have been awkward. And a good position from Get Right. Post-plant goes immediately through CT spawn and cuts off before they can arrive on the retake to catch World Edit. It's Bondic and Blade. They need to find an opening fast in this situation. They both do have kits, but a good flash out. Bondic's going to get delayed even further, and with the double op purchase and both ops down, Do they elect to save this? Blade's going to go. He finds Freiberg. Immediately, Blade's got Exist as well, and now it's Get Right. 1 versus 1, but was a 1 versus 2. He's going to close it out. There's the clutch from Get Right. His statistics in those situations.
I had to look down at the NLP guys. They looked a massive sigh of relief there. It looked like a round. They had to win in that situation. Comes down to the one-on-one again, but it's Get Right this time, stepping up in the clutch. Massive round for them. That's actually drawn things out now. One more round will do it for an IP. And it's a simple B play again, Matt. They go towards B, get full control there. A couple of Molotovs onto the side. Flashbangs come in, and they're so well placed as well. You can see how uncomfortable the CTs are when they're coming into the bomb side there. Only managing to find single frags before getting exchanged. Shara coming out of the vents, had to find 2 there. It was a very sloppy spray from him. He only managed to get 1 in before he's killed again. And 5 people towards B for NIP. He's going to keep running this tactic time and time again.
Why not, Henry?
Why not?
If it ain't broken.
The problem is when you have no one on the other side of the map, you are fully committed. You don't know what aggression's coming from the CT, so they pretty much have to go for this now.
And the perfect scenario would be that Bondic pushes into A and realizes that they get the early rotation, but now they'll see this. Markelov lines up at least 1. It's 2 in the favor, make it now 3 in the favor, 4 in the favor as Shara mows them down of Flipside. I was about to say at least they got 1 on entry, but it all falls apart.
Wow.
And perhaps you're right. If it ain't broken, well, it is. It just got absolutely torn apart by Shara.
Well, obviously it was working so well before, but the CTs have adjusted now. They were aware. As soon as they see that initial smoke coming in, they're probably ready for it and calling in for the rotation straight away. So Flipside do keep themselves in this series. Just about 1 round still separates them from being beaten by NRP here. But they tried the same tactic, exactly the same tactic once again, and this time Flipside ready to lock it down. We go into the final round here of overtime. Potentially still could be a double one. Flipside need to win this. And NRP, if they take this round, they are the winners.
So World Edit, single AWP this time. He's going to anchor out and toward middle. And they've got Forrest back on the op. Now, I know you've kind of been critical of his CT side. At least on the T side, he was finding picks. So we'll see if he can do the same here. Threat, default Molotov. That's in toward the vents. No one to push out of it this time, but they were trying to make that play for Get Right, who's on the opposing side of it. Shara back in again. His impact felt immediately. And Markelov, a smart smoke, will give him room to dance on the site now that the trade has been exchanged on the entrance.
4 on 4 now. Bomb still down towards middle, so trying to find another pick before they commit so far. Forrest unable to find anything with the orb so far towards middle. We'll just be holding up for any CT reactions and aggression. That's what the T's are banking on right now. He will be boosted up towards mid. But we'll have a look at the CTs, what they've got planned. It's just going to be Blade towards middle by himself, going for the face as well. Not going to be checking the boost area. He's up against it. And we have actually got Exist towards Checkers towards B. So if he can find a pick here and open it up, that'll peel away CTs from A, and that's a dream scenario. This is all down to Exist now. If he can find something here, this could be the round over for them.
He's going to try and work slowly. Fortunately, okay, well, it works out. I was going to say slow enough to walk into the clutches of World Edit, but a missed shot. As Exist turns back to find Markelov staring him down, it actually works in their favor. 3 versus 3. Still, though, 30 seconds. And they need to figure out exactly where the D is playing, where the CTs are, and Forrest finds Blade. Now it looks very probable for NIP to close out this first game of the major. Threat's going to take down Bondic, and it all comes to the shoulders of Markelov. And he doesn't have the angle from Highway as he does try and approach. No kit, no armor, a desperation looms in the breath of anxiety as Markelov needs to try and get closer and closer, and a flash will buy more time. And it's just a matter of time, really, before he's found, because he's got 3 against him with Threat well and truly burrowed into the long hallways. First one not successful, and that allows the bait and switch. Freiberg comes out. It's NIP overtime in our first match in the North American Major, but it's NIP into the upper portion of Group A.
So even with a coach, they're still winning games consistently now. As we know, Threat has to play the rest of the tournament. They've started, so they'll finish with him. But what a great opening game for them. He was actually pretty good at some very high impact frags from him in key rounds. He wasn't setting the scoreboard on fire or anything, but he stepped up when he had to.
And Blade,
that's got to be
he's always got a deep look on his face of, I guess, thought you could call it in simple terms, but you know that this for them was a chance. NIP, coach playing, you had to think this was their chance to get into the upper bracket. And best case scenario for NIP as well, it's the first game in the morning, which means they've now got all day. If they played tonight with Threat as their first game, and then played again tomorrow, they don't have as much time to sit and look at the demos, go over some finer details with a comb. Now that it's the first game, they've got all day today to go back to the hotel, sit, think about, okay, Threat did this, did that, what can he do to improve, how did they play with him, and they've got a lot of time to talk about it, so it works out well for them.
Shout out to Forrest as well. Like the way he was playing, especially on both halves, the clutch situations he was getting himself into and winning them time and time again. He was so instrumental. And I mean, even just getting the amount of rounds they did, so many clutch situations going in their favor, and a massive play from him as well. Bondic, especially as well on their T side, he had such great positioning, great rotation kills as well, very influential to all the rounds the flip side got. But there it is, overtime in our first game. And I have to say, I think we all expected NLP to still clinch this one, pretty much in that sort of fashion. It'd be a very close game where they'd be the ones to just about get over the finish line.
Remember, though, if they go up against, let's say, according to how we're all predicting this, if they go up against Luminosity right away, come back down to play the best of 3 for the decider, they have to win a best of 3 against Flipside, who just took them to overtime in one map, and a good map for NIP, Cash, something we normally talk about being quite successful, or a best of 3 against Mouse Sports, who's been hot lately, and a Nico that's been absolutely on a tear. So this is still a very tense group for them. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. With Threat in the lineup, it's a little bit tough. But that said, who better to talk to than Threat himself, the coach, now player for NIP, standing by with Chris Puckett.
All right, thank you guys very much. Here with a very happy Threat. Threat, talk to me about this whole day. You didn't know you'd be playing until last minute. When did the pit issues start, and when did you find out that you would officially be filling in on the squad?
Well, about 2 days ago, we realized that he wasn't going to make it in time. So I practiced with the team for 2 days, which is basically all the CS I've played the last year almost, at least a serious Counter-Strike. So I'm very rusty, but I'm very glad we could win this game.
Yeah, for those who haven't been following the story, you, of course, have been over in Japan studying. NIP brings you back on as a coach position. And I read an article where you said, we changed everything. What is the new mindset? What is the new approach to Counter-Strike Global Offensive?
We play with a lot more discipline now, and we use a lot of execution-heavy tactics. The old NIP, they used to play a very loose style. They used to just go for the frags, but I tried to change that, and I think I've done that.
We saw a lot of fragging, a lot from Forrest. Get Right had some great shots, and you even had an epic 3K that clutched the round. How do you feel you're playing personally after just 2 days of warm-up?
Well, good enough, I guess, since we beat them, but I'm still very, very rusty. But I mean, I know all the tactics. It kind of makes sense that I am the one playing with the team because I made all the strats, I know all the grenades. So I feel very rusty, but as a team, it works.
It seems to be working well. I have to ask you, you guys weren't able to close it out in regulation time. You had to go to overtime. Who was causing problems from Flipside?
I think it was their in-game leader, Blade. He had a really good read on how we were playing mid, so he just did the delay take in mid, and we just had no answer to that. And during the overtime, we just, okay, let's just play the sides, just go for the frags, and Forrest made a huge 4K round, I think, and yeah, we won.
Pretty enormous round there out of Forrest. Now, you guys are through to the next part of the groups, but you'll have to play the winner of Luminosity and Mouse Sports. How do you feel you stack up against your competition there?
It's going to be a very tough game. Probably going to be Luminosity since they made 4 grand finals in a row, I think. So it's going to be a very, very tough game, but hopefully we can come through and make a good game out of it.
All right, well, Threat, congratulations on a big win. I know a lot of people were excited for you. The chat blew up. Over 750,000 people watching you play here today. Guys, that's going to do it for us on the floor. Let's send it over to the analyst with Sir Scoots.
Thank you very much, Chris, and again, congratulations to Threat. Obviously he bottom stacked for his team, but again, had some clutch rounds. Absolutely, that 1-3K. We do have some highlights we're going to show a little later, but I think you might have mentioned it off camera. Bondic, like, really stepped up, and to a lesser extent, even the new guy on the team in the sense of Major, Shara, actually had some really good rounds. But again, took him to overtime, but not enough.
It was a classic Flipside performance. I mean, look, we'll break down NIP in a bit, but it was a classic Flipside performance from me. You know, they were like, they came out strong, they started strong. You were like, ooh, NIP might be in a bit of trouble here. This could be a bit embarrassing. NIP get back into it, and they should have took a stranglehold of the game. Then Flipside managed to kind of claw their way back into it, and then just when it comes down to the actual hard yards, when you need to dig deep and have that firepower and have those clutch rounds, Flipside fall short again. And that for me typifies what Flipside do at major events, you know.
I just think that for Flipside, Bondic, just amazing. Without him, obviously, it would have been over a long time ago. Starting the game off with 4-0, looking good. Threat winning that one round, pistol round, the clutch, just turned around for NIP, and then just the whole half after was all about NIP moving into their seat side. Actually, with a stand-in, especially when a player hasn't played for too long, with a stand-in on the seat side, it's actually a lot harder.
Yeah.
The T side, a little bit more, it's easier, right? You just throw in the Forest or Freiburg, maybe even get right. You're in the back line, throw a flash or two, and then hopefully Freiburg and he had a great game in terms of entry fragging.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to do that much. And then switching over to the seat side, that's when things going to get a little bit more difficult. Now, NIP were quite smart. They put Threat on the rotating position, either in mid or over at B. But as Threat was saying, Flipside did a really good job in taking control of middle. Bondic, again, just insane in anti-fragging, and it just wasn't enough. But it was a good game.
Yeah. I mean, to add on to what Fifth Lauren's saying here, the good thing about the T side for NIP is not only do they have a player who's just like a new player who obviously is the in-game leader, but he's going to know his role within the system. That's the thing. Yeah. He knows who he's replacing. Whereas the problem is on CT side, I mean, CT side's a lot more skill-based anyway. And as we kind of suggested, like once you figure out where he's playing, you can abuse that. And what did we see at the end of the game there in regulation? It was a battle of the in-game leaders. That's why Threat was giving credit there to Blade, because Blade picked them apart on the T side for Flip side, and towards the end of the half, that's why they came on strong, because Bondic started pushing towards that mid area. Threat was pushed off time and time again, and you saw actually NIP seemed a little bit lost on CT side there. They were making all these gamble reads of having Get Right like rotate over really early, whereas classically you want him to come in last, and so there was all these misplays from NIP, and it actually looked like Blade had pretty good control of the game. Now in the end, it's going to be hard in terms of firepower going against NIP. And, yeah, Threat obviously couldn't add a whole lot in terms of frags. But, yeah, Forest did arrive. Yeah. And I think NIP, I thought they were going to win it in regulation. They got pushed to overtime. They still won the game anyway. I think in the end, as we were trying to describe at the beginning of the game, it was a good map for NIP. Like, they locked out on that randometer. Yeah. They didn't want it to be cobbled. They got the map they wanted. They squeaked through this one. So good enough for now. Like, they're at least at the very minimum now, they'll be playing either the winners match, in either they win that or they'll be playing the best of three. So they've got a good chance to make it out here. This was the one where they couldn't afford to lose this game, I think.
Yeah. We have some highlights. The first one's going to be round 2, near the end of round 2, and it's a Shara setup. So let's go ahead and run that, folks, and we'll take you through that.
And it is worth pointing out that essentially this guy has been the worst player for Flipside over the last few months. He's had a lot of problems, and obviously he's the new guy coming into this major, so...
Yeah, a bit of an unknown quantity in terms of whether he'd ever get to the level of some of his teammates. Well, this is the best I've seen him play at a tournament of this caliber against opponents of this caliber. I mean, Fifth Lauren's absolutely right. Bondic posted the numbers, but there was some nice like clutch rounds and even eco rounds where Shara went really, really big. And if he doesn't, obviously Flipside lose in regulation time.
And then we've got another one. It's round 16. It's going to be Freiburg. I was just looking at Shara. He went 30 and 26, so he was right below Bondic at 30. He had 36 kills. So. Not bad for the new guy. I
think this is a pistol round, right?
Yeah, this is round 16, the end of it, and our boy Adam goes off.
Double headshot.
Yeah.
And when we saw what happened in the rest of the game, this obviously actually ended up being very instrumental, because if NIP loses this round outright, I mean, the guys from Flipside get rolling early, then they would have been in real trouble towards the end of the game, where they'd have to have made better reads and win more the 1v1s. That's another factor you have to add in here. I think Forest actually was the big factor for NIP.
Huge.
If he doesn't win these 1v1s they're having here, they would have been on the back foot right from the first half of the game, so it would have been very, very difficult. But the key thing for this sort of a match is, even though the rounds look so close, you're like, oh, they could have lost. All that matters is that you won. And this one doesn't matter what the status of it is. You got the win here, you're through. And so in this kind of scenario, I don't think for NIP you're worrying about the quality of the match. You're just worrying about getting the W.
Yeah. And then we have one more highlight, and it's actually Threat, round 21 when he does that clutch. Pretty cool.
This one, I have no idea what happened here for Flipside.
Yeah.
It's a miscommunication. It's on the A-bomb side. See the bomb planner here. They know he's on the site. Markov does not peek whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, when the bomb planner goes down there, it's game over anyway. Even if Markov ends up getting Threat there, you still lose the round. Yeah. You need to obviously, like, that's Counter-Strike 101. You have to cover the bomb.
And I mean,
don't do that, you...
Yeah, I was just saying, it looks good, to get like a 1v3 there, but real talk, like, Threat's going to trouble the scoreboard about as often as Anders is going to trouble a treadmill. Like, he's not going to be like...
He's got a hurt knee, though.
Yeah, that's of course what
I don't know about that. I think it'd be as much strain for a treadmill to carry Anders as it was for Nip to carry Threat there.
Oh, Anders, I'm sorry.
Keeps going. But while it's a wonderful clutch and it's a highlight moment, Flipside played that terribly, and Threat, in terms of his fragging, not a big impact, but you could see what he's brought to them in terms of, giving them info, keeping them calm. He's laughing and joking all the way through it, despite how close it was. And I think NIP have lacked a little bit of those cool heads at key moments in the past.
And they also, we talk often about, North America yells and screams when they win a pistol round or just get a single frag. And I did notice that these guys were a little more energetic and emotional than they normally are. Is that, you think, part of the new NIP, or just their situation here today with a Threat and not their fifth guy just got them a little because they were yelling and screaming. They were having a good time.
I mean, their main goal here for this tournament, especially not having the core 5, is to get our groups, right? And to have fun with it. And I think that's the new mentality that NIP has had. I mean, imagine you picture yourself, right, just losing tournaments for over a year. It's not that much fun to play anymore, right? And then you come in.
PTSD for you,
right? And then you come in and you have Threat just reinventing their whole game style. Of course, it's going to be fun to play again, right? You start winning rounds, you're doing great online, had a good showing at IAM, come in here, you win the first game. Yeah, of course you're going to be psyched, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all about the context, obviously, because here they just want to win the rounds, they just want to get through the games. Much like North Americans, if you get a kill and you're North American, if you win a round, these are big events in your life, you know. So you got to celebrate.
Just getting to the event is a big thing these days.
Yeah.
All right,
I've hit my quotas.
Day 1, North America thrashing. Well, on point. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. That's going to do it for this matchup. Obviously, Ninjas in Pyjamas moves forward. Flipside is not out of it yet. They have to play the loser of this next match we're going to bring you, which is going to be Luminosity taking on Mouse Sports. This should be a good one. They play very close together. So we'll be right back after this break.